On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk to you about our final thoughts of Saber Wars II, an event which is nearly over. It happened. In space. Also, there will be some more news out of JP, NA, and oh man, do I have a monster of a teach me for you guys today. I'm not kidding, it's like 5 pages long. Anyway, hi. I'm one of your hosts, Omega, and I am clearly the chair of the lore department. With me, as always, Lucky. What department does he work for? We don't know.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka All the Lights in the Galaxy Are My Waifus. And while we here in Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EM versions of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should wait for their prints to come.
Yes, many space references to be had, I'm sure, as we will get into those thoughts on the Saber Wars II. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day, evening, whatever time period is when you get this. Some of you get this in the morning. Before we continue, I'd like to remind you this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHar, Pongo Comics, Akazumi, Critic 10, Bugs G, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boston for Liam Kessler, Richard Raptor, Rogue Robin, Trevor, Shiny Peace, I'm getting Bob 23, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
And, as always, continue considering to refresh your support or offer your support in new ways. This is an unrelated note, but we did have a discussion about some other things about how far a little can go. It's been a long time since I've used this analogy, but, if I've maybe hypothetically possible, I don't know what the lowest level for the super thanks you can do just in the YouTube comments now, but if everybody who watched Let's Talk FGO, gave us 99 cents or $1 or whatever, obviously YouTube takes their cut, but hypothetically, we do, 4 shows a month, we usually get around 1,000 views. We'd be making 4 figures every month on this, which we do not currently. So just, every little bit goes a long way. So, support. It's cool. Thumbs up. Anyway,
Thumbs up.
Now that I've spaced out enough for our ad rev to not get mad at us, I will now go check in with everybody's favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, regular segment for pro tips. We can't say fuck in the first 30 seconds. Though we can say shit bitch now.
Shit bitch.
But, we do have a pro tip today. I think I almost said we have a thumbnail today. Which is definitely true, probably. We probably have a thumbnail today. We don't know what the future holds.
Listen, I was on fire today. I got my notes done early. I had the thumbnail done early, but as soon as I posted on Patreon, I'm like, I'm gonna make YouTube. I'm gonna make a fight YouTube. And you've seen the end result by now.
Yeah, you've seen something happen. We'll see what's going on. I mean, the usual thing is they just remove the thumbnail that I upload, and then they default to the thumbnail that is just a video slice, and then the video slice is just a bed image of our thumbnail, which is what a lot of podcasts on YouTube do. So, we win either way. The question is just, I do think that YouTube, does not actively circulate as much videos that don't have real thumbnails, because they think you're fake ass or something. But if people see our video, they see the same thing. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and do our pro tip really quick. It's pretty basic. I just want to remind everybody for your November plans, which are probably pretty mild. November's not a dead month per se, but it's a little bit low energy after, the big Saber Wars II. It's going to be cruising mostly on small campaigns. I believe there's a hunting quest in here and stuff. We'll talk more about that later, I'm sure. But that'll all lead into an early Christmas and then into a new Lost Belt in December. So, very late November, and then December is going to be packed. But early November should be pretty light. That said, remember, in North America, we have Thanksgiving. Specifically in the U.S., we have Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is a different time period. But we have the Thanksgiving holiday, and so because NA is hosted in the U.S., this usually means that there's a little special event. There's some extra goodies and some banner elements, which might not have you follow your perfect clairvoyance. So watch out for weird rate-ups you weren't looking forward to, and various other campaign elements. You might get an infusion of Saint Quartz or summon tickets or something from somewhere. We don't know. We have some theories about when we might get that news. We'll come back to that in a second. But for now, we must move on to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic.
It's only me this week, surprisingly. So
yeah, I ran out of story XP, so Jane's stuck somewhere in the 50s.
Oh no. So, it is just me this week, and I would like to inform everybody. I would like to inform everyone, please, plan the parade, get the ticker tape, get the confetti, get the balloons, my battle is over. MHXA acquired. And with that, I decided to take the last 90 quartz I had and get a victory lap, and I got MP2 Jane. which I actually do appreciate. I actually said, like, using Jade, I'm like, oh no, I like her. And that MP2 is usually the sauce. Usually that big slice. Also, I want to put this on here. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm going to pat myself on the back really hard. Like, this is the sound of Lucky, like, beating himself on the back. Because, I actually completed all 100 missions of Saber Wars II. Which means I had to do that stupid-ass, bitch-ass, motherfucking down in the dirt, drag you through that fucking RNG bullshit. That is Dark of the Rounds.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to accomplish that one, because much like you, Lucky, I used all my command seals up on that Ellie quest, because boy, that's a fucker, too.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll have 3 command seals before the event ends. Whoops.
Well, real talk. I saved for my command seals. I still have to spend another Saint Quartz. Because I was doing this. I have
a lot of that left also.
Because I was doing this, I'm like, I'm not going through this pain again.
No, that's absolutely no. Like, if you used seals or Saint Quartz or whatever on this CQ, widely considered to still be one of the hardest CQs in the game so far, no shame, guys. It's rough. Like I said, I literally don't think I've got the resources to try. No. Maybe on the rerun. I'll stop at 99 missions, I guess.
No, but I will also say, yes, I also got a little blasted by King Gelly there. 10 out of 10, did not expect.
Yeah, that was a rough one. We'll probably talk about that more when we get to our thoughts on it. It's a little interesting. The enemy likes to use skills. Nah, it's 5 tickets. I don't need those. I have Space Ishtar already.
Listen, Lucky's in super economy mode. Let me tell you why, because we're gonna move straight on over to not all the world Evo, but damn close. As someone has posted in our Discord Patreon chat, what did it cost? Guess what, buddy? That battle, cost me $700. It took me $700 of throwing quartz at that banner to get me an MHXA. It's like, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Fortunately, this is definitely I said that this is my last hurrah, because basically I am going into economy mode. 2023 is going to be absolutely brutal for me. With Camelot happening, with Rider Kama happening, frickin' Queen Sky of Light happening, and I'm looking at Jox, and like, because her lines have been translated, I'm just like, oh no, I like it. Yeah, I really like it.
No, I knew you would.
So I'm just like, fuck. So basically, I'm super trimming down my usual role list. Like, some people have already been talking about it, but like with their role plans, but like, I'm not rolling for anything else this year. Like, I'm gonna have to pass on Europa and Superhuman Orion. I'm gonna pass on the Stolf. I'm gonna pass on whatever weird banners they got going on. Unless they come out with a surprise, here, you can roll for Comma Ban. I'm just gonna be like, nope. Cause next year, I'm gonna be starting off immediately with Yang. Going strong for that. Then we're gonna move on over to summer. I'm gonna try and pick me up one Castoria, at least. And then we got the CCC and main interlude and the OQ rerun, which I'm gonna try and load up on more comma. And I feel like there was something else. Oh yes, Ibuki Doji. And that's my 2022 freaking plans. Like nothing else.
Yeah, I think with Space Ishtar, I'm done for the rest of this year as well.
Oh shit, I forgot to write something on here. Okay, guys. So, in my records, we're gonna rewind here. I forgot, I got MP2 Bradamante in there. My first 10 rolls, I got a Bradamante in each one.
Ouch.
And that's the moment when you know this is gonna go horribly.
That's when you're like, oh, I see how it's gonna be.
Yeah. As like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at, this sweet Bradamante. It's like, she's super adorbs, and I want her, like, come girl, let us go look for your husband together. So I'm excited to have her, but also kind of threw my fucking SSR plan, my free SSR ticket plans into disarray. I think I only have like literally like I have Anastasia, Europa, and I think one other person I could pick from now. I'm just like, why you do this to me? You've changed my plans. And this is when FGO just goes, I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. I'm just like,
yeah, I don't really have any record.
MP2 Junico.
Yeah, Lucky got that one. Junico's my pick if I get a Tamamo between theirs, but I'm not gonna. It's not gonna happen. I just assume it won't. It won't. It hasn't happened for 4 years. It won't happen for 5. That's how it's gonna be. Why would it be different? No, I don't really have any records or anything. Like I said, I'm stalled on, because I bought all the EXPs out of the shop. I'm stalled on Chain for the moment. Though I'm sure I'll get a level once the event is over. Or once I finish, I'm at like 95 missions, so, like, I'm pretty close. I just need a couple hours and my phone's charging right now, so maybe I'll just go into the Ember Mines as well. I don't have any real, like, all the world of evil. I had 30 Saint Quartz when the MHXA banner dropped. I spent it. I got a very shitty skip gang full of fucking 4-star CEs I don't need. Can't wait for them to all be dead. But it's nothing to write home about. You handle this CQ by... Do you own one of those units who does debuff clear? If not, brute force. Because Saber Ellie is an asshole and she loves to use her invul. And then she gives the whole team invul and like stupid high defense up. It's very bullshit. I sealed. It's definitely one of those ones where like, okay, we're gonna give you one of the biggest damage bonuses you can get. You can get like, you know, Space Destroyer is already like plus 100% damage. You can get like what 200% on one damage focus CE and then plus 100 for each MLB party CE. And then it's brutal. Like I said, brute forced. No, I don't have the CQs. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna bother. It's not worth it. I thank for people offering to like hook me up with a Bunny Artoria, which seems to be the primary strategy for fuckling the RNG. But no, I don't think I got the energy. We got like 2 days left. I don't have any seals. I have like 9 Saint Quartz. I'm cool. I'm good. I'll do it on the rerun. It's not a big deal. It's only 5 tickets. Oh, actually, I probably should have said this in records. I did get enough to acquire the costumes for Astarte and MHX, though. Store's pretty cleaned up for me.
I should double check to make sure I have those. I think I do.
Yes. It's pretty easy, because it's just 200 of the gold currency, which you will get farming for Ultrium, which I have shitloads of. I think I have like 700 I can't spend anymore. But yeah, so, like I said, I don't have any big records or evils from this. It's just, pretty normal stuff. But if that is the end of Lucky's Wallet's sad tale, we shall move on.
Howdy-ho.
And ask you, did you finish your master missions? These are pretty simple. You need to perform 30 FP summons, defeat 15 undead-type enemies, defeat 15 beast-type enemies, defeat 15 demonic-type enemies, which coincidentally is also a mission in this event. Defeat 5 servants and defeat 10 servants, so do the event. I think undead's the only thing I'm not dead certain is in this event, but if it isn't, just fucking beat skeletons. Punch skeletons. Speaking of skeletons, let us move swiftly on to Skelegrams. I say swiftly on because I don't want to suck up too much time in this front half, because the front half's not the real half. In case you couldn't tell from the bed image, this episode has big badonk.
Badonk.
So we're gonna speed through some news really quick. First of all, FGO's going back to conventions. Tweeted out that Albert's gonna be at Anime NYC doing a panel on the 20th of November. This will probably have announcements for Thanksgiving, because that's the start of that week.
Yes.
So, hey, good to see people out there again, Good to see Albert leaving whatever dungeon he's been living in, whatever green screen zone he has hidden. And get out there in the world and, do the business. Talk to the people. And probably bring goodies. And like I said at the front of the show, the very front, we've got a couple of little JP news bits. They've just, letting you know what's going to happen. Is it now that Halloween's over, or once Halloween's over? Does it have a couple of days left, or is it donezo? Let me check.
Halloween, I think it's like early November, like the 2nd or the 4th?
The 3rd, yeah.
Right down the middle.
It's you got the 7-10 split, it's fine.
I hate the 7-10 split, though.
Well, you hit most of the pins. Somewhere in there. Anyway, yeah, so it's the 3rd, so yeah, some of this stuff is just going on, like, congruently while you're probably finishing up the event, because I'm sure that all the time gates are open and everything by now. And the other is, like, kind of what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable future. So the first one is Main Quest Clear Aid Campaign Part 1. I'm implying there's going to be further parts. So Main Quest Aid is back, and because we've got so much stuff coming up that requires Story Quest Clear, this is probably why we're getting in there. In case you guys forgot, JP's going to have one event in November, which requires, I believe, Lost Belt 5.5 cleared, and then an event in December, which is not a new Lost Belt, because we're not geared up for 7 yet. That's probably not going to be until the end of next year somehow, depending on how pacing and writing goes. But a story event in December will require Lost Belt 6 clear. No word on if any of this is related to Christmas as well. But so the follow system now works until Lost Belt 6 and you've gone up to 5 slots. Basically, the follow system is you can basically add somebody to your friends without needing to request their friendship. You just basically go like, hey, this person had a cool support list I need to get ahead. Can I just use their supports? Yes. And so now you get 5 slots and it goes all the way until you finish Lost Belt 6.
Nice.
So we also have some other stuff. This is the big one. Story quests in Part 1, 1.5, and 2 now give you EXP cards. So remember when we got our big Mats infusion? Now they also give EXP cards. This is retroactive and does not obey the normal present box limits. So people be logging into JP and getting a shitload of EXPs. I do believe your inventory limit is still respected, but the retroactive EXPs do not expire and do not take up your normal present box limit.
Jesus! Tyranno in our Discord just said they got 1,047 of them.
Yeah, so if you've been hurting for EXPs lately in JP, or if in the future in the old 2023, 2 years from now, 23. If you're hurting, you're getting a shitload of EXPs. It looks like over 1k is expected if you're caught up on the story. And like I said, you can sit on those. They don't take up your present box space and they don't expire, so you can just extract the amount you need as you need them for a little bit. Really nice, cool bonus kit out there. Yes, definitely good for the level 120 edition, I think is what they're going for once again. Anybody who logs in until the 9th of December and has cleared Fuyuki Chapter 3 will get 3 Spirit Stones. In case you forgot, these are basically the spend 3 seals to revive, but not spending seals. So you get 3 of these Spirit Stones if you log in and have completed Fuyuki Chapter 3 Part 1, which I believe is the tutorial role. So, yeah. Half AP on all main story up to Lost Belt 5.5 during this campaign time. Note this doesn't stack with anybody else. It's still pretty good. And there are limited master missions for MP. Basically, once you clear, I think it starts at clearing Solomon, and then it goes up until like all the Lost Belts. You get a couple hundred MP, well, a few hundred MP, some rare prisms, and even a crystallized lore. So just general good FGO. Hey, are you catching up? Have you cleared story? Are you gonna clear story? Keep catching up, kind of rewards. Mm-hmm. Definitely gonna streamline the process. Also, we got another shocker in JP: the Fate Apocrypha Blu-ray disc box and OST release commemorative campaign. I guess we're releasing a duo box that has the OST and the Blu-ray. This goes from the 28th until the 4th of November. Log in for 1 singular summon ticket. Amakusa's costume is now in the Rare Prism shop, and there will be a summon banner during this duration for basically everybody at APOC. Everybody in APOC is in the rotation. This does include limited servants such as Saber, Astolfo, Semiramis, and Amakusa, but also limited summers like Jean, Fran, and Mordred Summer. So that's pretty cool. We're getting a second crack at some of our more summers. I know that's always interesting to a lot of people. But otherwise, this is a pure chaos banner. It's like the fucking APOC collab banners. It's nuts.
I can't necessarily say it's bait because it has limited SRs on there. Summers at that.
Yeah, no, like you got a lot of rotation, but it's also just it's an absolute chaos jam.
Like I wouldn't mind picking me up another Rider Mordred. I still use her for art loops.
Yeah, I had to settle for NP1 because of how much it cost me in life 2 years ago or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't think it's as chaos as Swimsuit plus AOE. This has actual rate of rotation. There's a lot of APOC servants, but there's only so many, you know. But yeah, another Saber Astolfo banner. Pretty good, you know. A lot of newer SSRs don't get a lot of read-ups all the time once their rerun passes, so that's good. But that's the news. No new news out of NA yet. We don't know what we're doing after Saber Wars wraps up. I'm sure we'll get some other stuff.
I'm pretty sure we got a couple things to tuck in there, but we're probably going to do some sort of not campaign, but like download event or something.
Yeah, I do believe we have 1 million downloads queued up for sometime in November. Let me see if I can.
Because I'm pretty sure we're going to probably, because this is, I like to remind everyone, this is the year of super early Christmas, but no rerun.
Wow, this is going to be really weird. So 18 million downloads equivalent will be a Scotty banner return.
Okay. If
anybody's freaking out about that, I'm sure people will tell me to empty my wallet. I say, you empty your wallet to me first. If that's how this world works. But that'll probably be interesting. Let me see if there's anything else fun there. Login bonus, dinner time. Don't have the mana prisms for that for sure. And some CEs and stuff. Yeah. Then we have Hunting Quests Part 6.
That's gonna be some more time filling.
And then we have collab. We have like commemorations we don't get. We've already done the Babylonian anime release commemoration because it already came out for us. Unless the Blu-rays are going to pop, we don't know. And we're not going to get the Fate Prototype Fragments of Blue and Silver drama CD, which are the really big time fillers. They're probably going to have to do something for that, maybe during Thanksgiving, because it has a commemorative CE, and also that's when Arthur's costume is added to the Prism shop. There's also an Arthur rate-up in there. So I'd have to, if somebody actually did give me like a couple $100 to like go nuts for Scotty, I would have to figure out how to stream it. I would have to turn it into content. That's the only fair way. But no, I'm not necessarily advocating it, but we'll see what happens. But no, I'm going to guess that the Fragments of Blue and Silver is probably going to be cannibalized for Thanksgiving, because it happens to run in JP. It ran from the 20th of November until the 4th of December. It includes some extra apples, a commemorative CE, like I said. It has the Arthur rate-up, which I'm sure people will be interested in, and some other stuff, so that'll probably get cannibalized. Yeah, the Babylonian commemoration had the 4-star ticket, which we already got, so people are really wondering if we're going to get another 4-star SR ticket.
I doubt it.
Because we did not get the same selection JP had. If we do, it'll be a Thanksgiving thing, but we might not. It will really depend. I think they've already given us an extra 4-star ticket already over JP, so I don't know. But yeah, other than that, November is really lean, guys. Like, Saber Wars actually dovetailed into November longer in JP, and there's no Christmas rerun, unless we get lucky and they somehow run it, which would be completely bonkers. And would probably say something about what happened to that Christmas event if we can rerun it and JP can't. But I don't think it'll happen, just because JP didn't happen, so. And Nightingale's Christmas Carol starts on, like, the 28th of November, so it's gonna be a weird month. Look out for more pack filler and more shit like the Camelot stuff we just got. Watch out for that, basically. But I do believe that means it is now time to move on to the mailbag.
Mailbag!
Refresh, stayed at 19, so it's going to be a little light and lean.
It's going to be light and lean, that's fine.
Well, it's good, guys, because seriously, we're probably going to want to talk about Saber Wars II a decent amount, but also, guys, once again, holy shit, I was losing my mind all afternoon writing this, like, literally all afternoon. Like, I ate breakfast, I sat down to write, and then I wrote basically through lunch, and then, I finished a couple hours and was like, okay, I think I'm done, and then you were like, alright, I'm on my way home. And I'm like, cool, we'll go eat.
Food. Alright, everyone. Well, everyone sit down, buckle up, and hold on to your butts, because it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we have 19. It happened a little late this week, because I was dumb. I can admit this, I was fucking dumb. I'll faff immediately. I don't give a fuck. So, Monday happens. I'm all like, all right, I need to like rethink these goddamn, I need to rethink these guidelines, because obviously people aren't reading them. So clearly, there's too many words. If there's one thing I know about people, they don't like to read.
Correct.
And I don't mean not like to read, like they don't like to read novels. Like they don't like reading rules and stuff when they want to immediately get to their content. I know how humans work. So I decided I need to make these more, short and concise. But then I was looking at a community and it's like, man, we have a lot of these Let's Talk FGO mailbags and they're not actually doing anything. So, I'm going to delete them all. And I deleted them all. Unfortunately, that made me realize as soon as I finished that I had no way to remember what the fuck I wrote down for all my rules in the first place. Because if you guys don't know, Lucky kind of has a shit memory. So I was like, well,
and also,
fuck.
If you're copying or basing the rules every time you post off the last one, you eventually just forget, because you're not using that part of your memory, so you forget. That's a very important thing with your memory. I think that's how most people's memories work and form, is just, if you don't use the info, your brain goes, you don't need that.
Whoop! Store it away. Into the place where you can't get it. Yeet. So, with that though, so I had to take a couple days, and I was like, alright, let me knock this out. And Wednesday I was able to get it out. I made it very short, very concise, and got everything in there. I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is what I am going to do. Basically, once we get done with the show, I'm just going to delete the mailbag. So when the questions are gone, the questions are gone. It's going to be great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time capsule, but the mail is read on the show for the most part. It's been a long time since we had a show so long on the front and back that we haven't been able to squeeze out all mailbags.
Yeah.
Probably around like Lost Belt 5-ish, because people, I'm sure, will have a lot of... As we get to the new year and as we get to new story content, usually people's number of questions go up versus how much we have to talk about also goes up. But it's been a while since we needed to bust out the timer.
Yeah. So, like I said, we got 19, and we are going to start right now. Our first one comes from, let's see here, King of Apple, who feels validated that Spish is canon. You spelled that with 2 N's, by the way. That's all, like, yes, everyone, make sure that you load your Space Ishtar properly. Make sure you plot your trajectories. Make sure the powder charge is fully primed and fire for effect. So, they have to say, though, question. The Moon Cell and Chaldeas are super powerful computers with the ability to simulate the world. Can they fulfill similar functions monitoring the world for changes as well?
So I think you've got that crisscrossed there. The actual function of Chaldeas, the world model, is to monitor the world, or the time stream. And then the Moon Cell also is there to observe the world. The fact that it is a super powerful computer that can simulate that information is different, not necessarily directly related.
Well, it's also because the Moon Cell also basically records fucking everything.
Yes, the Moon Cell basically records perfect knowledge of everything, so it can simulate everything, basically.
Yes. Because, the moon is actually just a big giant photonic crystal, so...
Yes. Now, does that also mean that, Chaldeas can simulate? I mean, yeah, we literally have simulators. Where do you think you go to Daily Farm? Is that the same as Seraph Serial Phantasm, where the Moon Cell basically creates infinite nested reality marbles? Probably not.
I mean, the scale is different.
Marsbury is rich, but he's not that rich. Not even Holy Grail money is that rich. Jesus. But I think that they are supposed to be similar. But no, I should note both of those things are technically supposed to be observatories first.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that mages went to the moon and discovered the Moon Cell can virtually recreate an entire world and create anything inside that world is like a side effect.
Yep. But, so I have nothing else to say on that myself. I think Omega has said his piece. And so we are going to move on. Thank you very much for that. This next one comes from a master watching in bemusement as Balbon Sith runs for dear life from the newest head of the Lisquisition, wearing a ballroom gown and chanting Death to the Wicked Stepsister. I am very interested in this new Halloween. I mean, I saw an image of the master as just like as a doll with a pumpkin head. I'm all like, what has happened here?
Well, and we get a new command code as well, which lets you look super, dapper.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's some stuff. There's some weird things.
There's some stuff. I'm excited.
I just want to double check. I know that Zenobia and Jacques Demolay's lines are translated. Has nobody translated Cinderella Liz's lines?
I have not checked them yet.
I'll have to dig up for those.
I mean, I checked Jacques' lines for reasons. I needed a confirmation. I got it.
He needs verification.
I did. I think it's very interesting how they went from Baphomet to Shub.
Well, Baphomet usually is depicted as the goat head, so I think it kind of follows.
I know. I know.
No, I don't watch videos where people subtitle stuff. That's way too slow.
Yeah.
My ability to speed read exceeds my ability to speed listen.
Anyway, they have something to say. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope the weather's treating you well. It has been raining like fucking non-stop. I came home soaked yesterday and the day before that. Did not come home soaked today. But I just think that the sky water is just taking a break for a moment, and I'll probably be soaked tomorrow. Actually, what is the weather tomorrow? I should check that. Anyway, given the lore behind Astarte, and the Primordial Garrulus, who do you think ranks the top 3 strongest service in terms of sheer power that I can summon as of before Lost Belt 5? My picks would be Arjuna Altar, Spishtar, and probably King Hassan. Keep rocking dunes and sending in the next mailbag. You see, here's the thing. Here's the weird fucking thing. This is the only thing I have to say about servant and power rankings. All servants are bullshit. All servants are super bullshit and super specific, and usually have super specific weak points. So it's really hard to actually quantify what is quote unquote strong.
I'd have to double check what abilities Space Ishtar's skills are supposed to represent, because I don't think she actually gets the The Seminole version actually gets the, like, nullify all non-galactic attacks thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, also, I don't actually know if she's that strong, because she's not a galaxy. That's a whole separate galaxy. Like, that's literally a different timeline's galaxy. So I know that through the power of her noble phantasm, she can, like, contact the primordial thing and shoot lots of beams, but, like, it's not the same. That was the scary thing about her in the Servant universe, because she was a whole galaxy. A cosmos. But,
I can feel
yeah,
the cosmos.
as Lucky's pointed out, power levels are bullshit. We literally did a whole video, many of you found us through of, where we discussed with Voice of St. Quartz about beating up Gilgamesh, who is insisted to allegedly be the strongest servant, even though he's clearly not, because he would lose some fights.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know, by the way, if he would lose to Space Ishtar or not.
Okay, I wasn't expecting this. This monster liquid is green. At the same time, I should have expected this.
Yeah, I was about to say, you did not expect this, but you should have. But
Well, like, here's the thing. I have a. No, it just smells fruity. Interesting. What flavor is this? Ultra Fiesta Mango. Someone give me a Spanish guitar after that.
Chugga-dun.
Lucky's an animal. I've actually started this habit to keep myself from crashing so much. I actually dilute my monsters with water now.
Hey, it's a strategy.
It is a strategy.
I don't do that for energy drinks, but we acquired some actual, honest-to-God, ginger beer, which is non-alcoholic, but it's made with real ginger, so it's really spicy, so I don't mind it because it's also sweet, but you gotta dilute that with a little bit of water, because drinking a whole can is just like sucking some ginger.
Call it Guitar Sasuna, thank you. So, like...
that is clearly a mandolin, or perhaps a lute.
It's a lute, but... It's from the road to El Dorado.
Yes.
Where did they start from? Italy? Spain? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they start from Spain. Anyway, we're in the weeds here. We should not be in the weeds. We gotta read a few of these.
Alright. But, like, you specifically, like, talk about, like, Arjuna Altar. It's like, yes, but have you considered Scotty, who's literally just fucking immortal and is known as a god slayer and literally just does more damage against gods? The more gods, the more damage. It's like, it's just things like that,
Also, summonable Arjuna Altar is only just Shiva. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have the full wealth of gods and authorities behind him. Now, that's still pretty strong, because that gives him the Destruction Sword, but it's, like, not perfect. Comma is space, that is correct.
Also,
I like how this person discarded all of our X-Beasts off this list.
Also, I did finally just read, Avenger Comma's, lines, because I realized I hadn't done that when I was reading her lines earlier, and I was like, oh no, she's literally just doing this just to get at us. I'm like, perfect, I love this. This is amazing, I can't wait. So,
Gremlin
with that,
energy.
So with that, though, we're gonna move on. Thank you very much. So, this next one comes from, I like Star Wars, I like sci-fi, I see this as an absolute win. They say, question, I'm a bit confused as to what went down between MHX and MHX Alter prior to the event of Saber Wars II. If it's too spoiler, you don't have to answer. I just don't get why they fought if MXA had no interest in being an evil overlord in the first place. Hope you all have fun with the events. Prepare for Padaru. Wasn't this all covered in the trial quest?
Yeah, and I think it was recapped in the crawl as well. Like, just because MHXA didn't have any motivation to be an evil overlord doesn't mean that she wasn't also the evil overlord. They became friends after, but if you ultimately want the answer for why did they fight, because. You've got the good twin and the evil twin. They fought because.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read the same event? Literally, their time flows in season. We said we'd be back for part 3. That's a canon dialogue you could choose. As canon as this event is, anyway. So, yeah, no, they did it just because. Also, I refuse to prepare for Padaru.
I mean, I will accept a mild Pottering after Halloween, but major Padaru does not begin until Thanksgiving, and I will fucking enforce that with a hammer.
I let them get away with some spooky ones because it was funny, but look at my eye on you guys.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, we're going to move on. There are line breaks in this one.
Yeah, this one's like double or triple space, which is a little annoying because it's not really that long.
Mm-hmm. But this one comes from average Star Wars RPG Clone Wars enjoyer. They say, hello everyone, hope everything's been going well for you. Bleh. Hello everyone, hope everything's been going well for you in recent times. This is actually my first time sending in a message to mailbag. I hope everything is mostly in order. Anyways, to start off, as the name implies, I've been slowly making my way through your Star Wars D&D. I am offended that you call this D&D. It is FFG. Thank you very much. The Genesis system. Well, mostly the Genesis system. The Genesis system came afterwards, but it's the fucking Genesis system. It only took me 3 to 4 months, but I'm finally at episode XXX, triple X, insert joke here. I was a bit unsure of how it would go, especially when I jumped to the series right after finishing your Mage of War series, but it's been fun and interesting so far. Thank you! Curious to see how Omega develops some of these plot points, foreshadow elements in the future. It also helps that I've gotten used enough to the voices to be able to distinguish them clearly. That was a real problem for the first 20 episodes or so. By the by the way, you can totally use this segment to show your Star Wars D&D series. This hurts me a little inside. I have played the Star Wars D20 system though. It was alright.
Saga's okay, but it's a really different flow than FFG, especially considering it is absolutely about Force user supremacy. Because it uses like a feat and talent system. Just play a Force user, a Jedi, and then take all the talents that let you do everything with your use the Force skill. Fly, use the Force. Throw rocks, use the Force. Sneak, use the Force. Stop bullets, use the Force. Gee, it's almost like D20 has some kind of thing about wizards. And I say that as I played a half-caster in 5e. I probably would play a full caster if I went back. That or I would go simple and nope. Head empty, no thoughts, fighter only.
I mean, I played like 5e like 3 times, and twice I was a freaking warlock with the oh god, what was the pack? I can't remember it.
Probably Blade.
But, no, it was I can't remember. But I love playing warlock. Eldritch Blast is broken, and I love using it.
Warlock was pretty fun. Before we hiatused, I was like, because it was the most efficient thing for me to do with my high charisma, I was gonna become I was gonna multi-class out of Paladin into Hexblade Warlock. I was gonna do the thing, guys. Hexadin is a really broken build, because Eldritch Blast is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, resuming recording. We were between the gap of the first bit and the second bit, because we were trying to show the APs. Go listen to the APs.
Yeah. I'm having a fight with fucking Dio right now. Did I upload that properly?
No.
Damn it!
And I was going to tell you yesterday, but I got sucked into playing Guardians of the Galaxy. It's good, guys. I started playing and then I didn't stop for like 5 hours.
Didn't you also pre-order Voice of the Cards?
No, I did not pre-order that.
Oh, you didn't pre-order. I pre-order.
You pre-ordered it. I will probably pick it up after Guardians because like I said, sucked me in. Hope it's got some decent playtime. It's pretty involved. We'll talk about that on What's Up tomorrow.
Yeah,
or later today, technically, whenever you're listening to this.
Whatever. So, this person goes on. Second point, this is kind of a mini rant, but hear me out. I will. I find it a bit annoying that the people that upload the in-game BGMs from FGO to YouTube don't actually update the song names whenever the official BGM releases and just keep it as the general event name like Event X Battle Theme or something like that. Thanks to that, it's almost impossible to know a particular BGM's true name. True name. Without doing some digging. I don't know, maybe just we being weird about BGM names, but it's something other games communities tend to do whenever a song receives an official name, yet that tendency doesn't seem to apply to FGO. Any thoughts? So, first off, I do want to say, no, it is not just the FGO community that does it. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of communities out there who are super lazy with their name titles. Listen, there are plenty of time, and my second point is, sometimes, and honestly, it's kind of okay. There's plenty of times when I'm trying to think of a song name and say, I don't fucking know the song name. I'm just gonna go, X event song name, go, and that's what's gonna pop for me. And then I'll remember it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something to be said, because, we do have the official OSTs that come out pretty frequently. We have an in-game jukebox. You can look up what those things are called. That's not usually what people are doing, like when a new event drops and they're like, yes, Lost Belt 5.5 main battle theme, Yeah. And obviously that gets there. I think the major thing, though, is that sometimes people use spoilers for the names of these tracks. Listen, y'all, I understand the hustle. You're out for the views, but don't fuck with people. Don't ruin their day. YouTube doesn't have a spoiler feature.
That'd be great, YouTube.
Yeah, that would be great if you could, but I don't think YouTube cares. That's just another system that they have to automate that they don't give a shit about. It's just like community captions and all that other stuff. Sorry, I just saw something funny in the... I hope it's a typo in the next mailbag question while I was thinking. But no, I agree with Lucky. I don't think it's that weird that people, it doesn't. I do think that it would be nice if people could, once an OST comes out, they update it, but, if they're just kind of fire and forgetting these things, that just means that somebody else can just also upload that music and do it properly. Or, who the fuck knows, maybe YouTube's music will automatically upload it. You see this usually as X topic, but YouTube has so much fucking music, guys, that's all automatically uploaded as part of licensing and technically it's also, I believe, to help with, like, content IDing so they know where the source of songs and stuff are. But, like, no, like, I don't think you understand. It's really easy to find fucking the Darkest of the Hillside's Thickets, which is probably the most obscure band I think I know of. They're a Canadian H.P. Lovecraft-inspired rock band. They've been doing this for years. I listen to all their music on YouTube because it's all, like, uploaded here through, like, partnerships with CD companies. I don't physically own any of their albums yet. That's a plan. Yeah. I want to order some. I want to, like, get a complete collection because it's cool. And I think after so many years, I owe them a little more than just some casual ad rev on YouTube or whatever. That's a project for probably later in this year, though, as I keep getting bamboozled by new things. I had to order some spruce nips for my Millennium Puzzle. Because we've recently moved, and I don't know where we keep the tin snips or pliers. Anyway, like, but yeah, no, that's just a reason for, like, somebody to come in and upload with the proper name. Mm-hmm. So, I obviously, yeah, I can kind of see the frustration, but, you know, if the gap in the market exists, take advantage of it.
Yeah, but that's all I have to say on that. So,
well,
we shall.
There's another, like, 3-line breaks, so.
Oh, yeah. Other than that, I don't really have a question. So, our Fail Betrayal Dragon Mains with special guest Lucky Win. Thanks for all your work. It wouldn't be a Fail Betrayal because I just unironically just love Dragon Mains. This is literally why I'm actually buying them. I'm like, oh no, Dragon Mains.
Yeah, I mean, we call the show is Fail Betrayal because sometimes it's funny, but like, it would definitely be a different ethos. Also, I don't know if I want to invite Lucky to Fail Betrayal because he'd probably die because we are very bad about talking. There have been many times where I have to just wait it out for like 4 people to talk and be like, okay, all right, moving on. Or I do believe Marth wanted to say something in there after 3 of you stepped on him, but okay, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Clearly, I just need to do it solo.
I mean, we could just do it you and me, but I know Robin wanted to be on there. I need to get my classy music loop instead of just like Skyrim music or whatever random shit I do. Just get some Mozart in the background. I'll just sip some tea.
We're gonna sip some tea. Yes, let us speak of Dragon Maid today. Clearly the card of highest class and culture among Yu-Gi-Oh! Fanatics. Or something like that.
I'm very glad the big boy one we did last week appears to be doing pretty well. It's doing way better than Alan Wake for some fucking reason. You guys not like Alan Wake, kids?
They might not.
It also could be that for a little bit there was a little bit of a copyright issue. I do believe.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the like between episodes theme or whatever, but one of the songs is copyrighted, so we had to run it through the mute.
Someone did offer to send me some Vanguard waifu cards, which are Monster Girls. I'm just like, yes, I know. I didn't want to just out you.
We don't usually like to speak names unless we specifically want to call out people in the chat because we want to give them credit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, apparently Vanguard just has a set of Monster Girl idols. I'm just like, this is my interest, yes?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Can't be that far behind. The next set is gonna release quote unquote dinosaur ruffians, which just look like anime girls from Metal Gear Revenge. Like,
really?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the concept art. Like, here we go. Here's one of the official concept arts.
That's pretty baller. Baller.
It includes the rear shot. They know what they're about.
Yeah. I might need that. I might.
Yeah, this is going to be the next set that's coming out in Japanese, so it's not out over here yet, but I'll let you know when that set's popping if you're interested.
I mean, I'll probably do the same thing I'll do with Dragon Maid and just, buy the thing. It's like, yes, no, I'm just going to display this because I like Monster Girls.
Yeah, but no, it's wacky and wild down here. Anyway,
we are going to move on, so thank you very much for that. This next one comes from Steve, not the first of his name, of House Beating a Dead Horse, watcher of... Should I say the full name? No. YGOTAS, Simper of Morgan, and Seeker of 3-term farming nudes.
This was the typo, by the way, that made me pause for a second. I was like, what? I hope to God that's a typo.
So clearly, this is the new kill lingo, and when you say send nudes, it means send farming strats. Listen, in our community, that's a legit currency. Anyway, they go on to say, hey, Luster Purge Lucky and Octozuka Omega. Hope life's treating you alright. I've been pretty euphoric as of late between a certain game of footy, soccer. I like how they had to put that in parentheses.
They're doing it for the audience. We obviously know what football is, but Some of the people at home might not.
Yeah. That happened this past weekend in my Hall of SSRs, the latter of which has unfortunately left me with no QP and very little bones and bullets. Mets and OP farms is a trip.
No bones and bullets. That's like a Western story or something in there.
I did
Not
play
of bones and not of bullets.
I did play a episodic game one called Blues and Bullets, where you basically play Elliot Ness in like some weird.
Oh yeah, I think that's on my Steam wish list. That's another thing, by the way. I am desperately ignoring is the Halloween sale on Steam. I'm like, no. You still haven't played all the games from the last Steam sale, me. Those look a lot like Trick Stars, but instead of idols, they're police girls.
Yeah, I know. There's police waifus, but here's the thing: they have to be monster girl waifus. They have to be specific. You have to be specific. But where was I going? Oh yes, my question is to the two of you pertains to this latest feature added to the game in JP 6th anniversary, the servant coin system. Rather get into the specifics and comment on how poorly the system was designed.
Loaded question much?
This is what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Don't do fox politeness. I hate that. I really, really do hate that. If you're not gonna say anything about the subject, don't say anything about the subject.
Yeah, we don't do loaded questions, Chief. Or loaded not questions. Anyway, it's passive-aggressive is what it is. We don't do that.
Yes, don't do that.
We do regular aggressive.
Yes. If you want to talk about how poorly, what our thoughts, if you want to talk about how you think the system is poorly and our thoughts about that, just fucking say that. Anyway, they go on to say, I'm curious about what servants you plan on getting to 120, if at all, and if you'll be unlocking the append skills on anyone. Sending the best wishes and the most positive vibes. So, like I said, I'm gonna treat it like I treat my girls. I'm going to load up on my Tamamos, I'm gonna load up on my Sakura faces, and I'll see from there. It's quite simple. I'm a man of simple tastes.
I would probably like to improve my Mordred and my Rin faces to 120, but that seems like very much overkill. I am definitely more interested in some of the append skills, though, for the, extra 20% starting, NP in particular. Though you never know, the extra class advantages could be interesting as well, but it's really going to depend on the servants. You know how many coins I got laying around. It's based on bond, so you never know.
But other than my standard, I'll just take it as I will. But we shall move on.
Yidge.
Thank you very much. This next one comes from Moon is victorious in the battle that is midterms on the brink of winning against Project. Will she be able to defeat the final boss of the semester? Find out next time in the adventures of a No, I'm not going to say that. Because you're not a dumb bitch. You're in fucking college and you passed your midterms.
You're doing fine.
You're doing fine. You're way better than I am. If you don't believe in yourself, I will believe in you. You're going to do fine and everything's going to work out okay. It's like, heck, don't put yourself down. Anyway, they go on to say, question, Green is lucky Omega. Hope everything is well and spooky. With 2021 coming to an end soon, who are your targets to roll for next year? Oh, I answered this already. Huh?
Yeah, for next year.
Yeah.
Let me double check JP 2020.
So, I'll say it again, though. Also, sorry if my rant last week was confusing, I guess. I couldn't put into words properly. Oh, well, I'm over it now. Anyway. I don't know if it was, necessarily confusing, because I think, like I said before, your opinions are valid and stuff. It's just, it's hard for me to understand said opinions. And I was listing reasons why I think it was, my thoughts were different. I don't know. I did go on a while.
We were speaking from personal experience and stuff, which is, personal.
Personal.
Yeah, let's see. Next year. The early's kind of cool. Definitely interested in Seishonagon. Interested in, for sure, Odysseus, though. That's a permanent, so we'll see how ham I go.
Ham.
Olympus release, Canis, gotta go a little ham. Watch, I'm gonna get 50 Dioscuries. Of course I am.
Well, you still want Dioscuri anyway, don't you?
I won't mind. They're a single target Arch Saber. That's cool. I do have a bride though now, but Dioscuri's alright. But Canis is story locked, so that's a higher priority for me. We'll see if that goes. We gotta try a little on Fate Requiem, right? Yeah, Dino Wife.
Dino Wife!
But oh my god, wow, that's right. I forgot how sketch the power of post-pandemic 2020 was.
Mm-hmm.
June, 2 things. Nope, that's fine. July, that's Seraph main interlude release and OQ rerun. I think I'm good on those.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, you have your perfectionist streak, your dreams of NP5. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I can stop anytime. And then a shitload of... July will also have the anniversary, so that's probably going to be a thing, because that'll be Castoria. I do also want to try there. And then summer comes out. Who do I care about in summer camp? What we got here? We got the first banner is Kiara, Bryn, Ilya. Probably not go ham on that. Yeah, that second one, Murasaki and Tomoe. Okay. We'll stall it out. Dance Tournament, Land of Shadows, 2100. That doesn't matter. Yamatai Koku. Definitely try for Kimiko. That's probably my big one. It's like in October, just like now. Imaginary Scramble's cool, but there's a lot of units that do what Van Gogh does. And Nemo's permanent. So I'll probably give a pass on that, and then December's when we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the fucking starts. Because that's Ibuki Doji, which I like limited sabers. Joke's on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably give Vishra a skip at Christmas because she's permanent, but then that immediately dovetails into New Year's with Muramasa. That's technically next year, but yeah, so there's my rough plans. Lucky can speedrun his now because he already said them.
Yeah. So starting off with Yang, try and get me that Imperial Consort. I'm probably going to do summer. It's like, I've done every summer so far. I don't want to break that streak, even if I'm not particularly excited about that.
Also Lucky, Summer Kiara.
I know. But also, like I said, I also got to go ham on getting more levels of Melt, Lip, and Kama.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's going to be a pain.
You're committed to the bit.
I'm committed to the bit. And, oh god, I forgot. Like, I don't know if I want Castoria. I don't know if I should, try and get an MP2, though. That's the thing, though.
I don't think it necessarily matters.
Yeah, no,
her NP is good, but like with a lot of the casters, it's as much about the skill levels they're going to milk you dry on as anything else.
Oh, yeah. So, there's that, and then for the back half of the year, it's just Ibuki Doji. There's a lot of things I want, but I'm just like, nope, 2023, it's going to kill me. There will be slaying.
And we may escape 2023 without a Yamatai rerun. Knock on wood. So, you could have a better chance to get it Himiko later. Let us pray.
Yeah. Like I said, I need FGO to stop knocking it out of the park. It's like, stop, slow down. And they're just like, no, we're making it for lost time.
Dear FGO, we need a couple duds. And they're like, no, we've been saving all of our money. What do you think we've been working on while we've been locked up inside all year? All 2 years.
It's like, artists don't need to leave their houses, and we're just like,
we've been working from home. Shit. They've been doing work? The productivity? I mean, yeah, I literally just scroll down the event list for, 2020, and you just see the sharp plummet for a couple of months when pandemic starts, and then slowly they build back up to their A game. And be how it be. It do be like that sometimes. So yeah, we'll have to see. I do think in general a lot of people will find next year in NA probably a little not as much of a scramble as the next year, 2023, will be.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some big hitters, Ibuki is a very big deal. There's that early year stuff, there's the Olympus release. Some people will be out for Remulus Queerness, He's a pretty big boy Lancer. There'll be some reruns galore. And obviously, summer is different for different people. Some people are going to be really chasing some of those dreams, but it should be interesting because I don't think it's been the murder spree that the back half of the current year in JP has been so far, where they're just constantly knocking them out of the park. Hey, we got you a story release. Hey, we got you an anniversary servant. Hey, we got you a summer. Hey, that's not enough. We did Halloween, motherfuckers. We're busting out all the stops. But alright, I think we handle that one.
Yep. So
There's
with that,
a decent number of these left. Some of them will hopefully be shorter.
Yeah, we'll try. I'll try to not draw them out so long. But this next one comes from the Tyrant King, who locked and loaded to binge a metric ton of candy this Sunday. Sunday. Diabetes. Your cavities will not thank you.
I already got my Halloween candy. I bought that entire thing of Skittles and Starbursts.
I should get me some candy.
And I spread it out over a few days.
No, I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna wait till November 1st, and I'm gonna go raid some sort of store or something.
Yeah, do it. That's the best time. I wish I was in walking distance of a good place. I'd probably just scroll down.
Mm-hmm. But they say, hey, Lucky Skelebones and a Omega Zombie, a Halloween question. If you can transform into any type of monster, either from movies, legends, or mythology, what would it be? Take care and have a nice Halloween and evening, my fellow ghouls. Dragon. And dragon. I love dragons. Dragons
yeah,
are
I mean,
great.
if we're going broad, yeah. It would be a dragon. That's cool.
I love dragons.
If it has to be like a movie monster, I don't know. I'm a sucker for anime vampires, so I'm also already very pale. I could be very vampy. I'm also hairy, so I could be a wolfman. I don't know.
No, you can only be one. I'll be the wolfman. You be a vampire.
Okay, you can be the wolfman.
Yeah.
I just look like a wolfman, depending on whether or not I've shaved recently. I'm a little scruffy right now. Maybe I should trim up. But Hollywood, if you're casting. No, I'm kidding.
Please don't.
I don't have any acting experience. By the way, OSP released another great vid today. It was the werewolf one. It wasn't quite as much Red Goes Slowly as insane as her Loki video, but it was still a very fun romp of just rolling it back. It took a very long time for the whole man-wolf thing to actually be literally a man-wolf and not just, this wolf is a man! Also fucking Dream Wolf Warriors, for God. Why does nobody ever remember that one? On the other hand, though, I do believe that is where all the weird spirit realm and, like, astral projection shit for werewolves comes from. Medieval scholars were really divided on whether or not it was physically possible for you to turn into a wolf. Go check that out. I think they're like number 8 on trending right now on YouTube. It's fucking wild. It's sick.
Oh, nice. I will take a drink because we talked about OSP.
Yep, everybody drink. I mean, when they're dropping zingers, especially which may be relevant because Red did discuss the myth of King Laocoon a little bit, and also brought up how certain versions of, I think it was Ovid's version of that myth, but it might have been a later scholar's, was made sure to talk about King Laocoon from Laocoon on Mount Laocoon, worshipping Zeus Laocoon, aka Wolfman from Wolf City on the Wolf Mountain, worshipping Wolf Zeus. That's some Space Wolf shit right there. There's a clip for the Space Wolf for Warhammer 40k Space Wolves. Everything is named Wolf. The Wolf Lords from their Wolf Hall go on the Wolf time. Wolf, 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 wolf. Now that we've satisfied our FAF requirements, we can move on.
I thought we're trying to lower the FAF requirements.
We have a little bit of FAF requirements.
All right, fine.
We've only barely crossed an hour 5.
All right. Tony Kaku. We move on. This next one comes from, I demand to know what happened to MHXA. It's snack time. That's all you need to know, man.
She is in a position of infinite time and space in the space between worlds, and apparently she has snacks, so she's fine.
Yeah. But they say, hey, y'all. This week I simply wonder, do you guys think that FGO can introduce a mechanic that involves setting up 2 different teams for a node? This with the added stipulation that you can't put the same character in 2 teams. Whether this involves whether this mechanic involves 2 teams of 3 or 2 teams of 6, I cannot guess. But what are your thoughts on this? Unfeasible? Possible? Dumb? Pray tell. P.S. I feel like every time that someone asks Lucky's about a scooter status, it just delays the fixing of the scooter a bit more. Anytime you say scooter, the scooterless period extends by a day. Sincerely, Spish put me 6 feet under. I mean, I am one of those people when the more you remind me of something, the more I don't want to do it. But
so the question of 2 teams, I guess it depends on what do you mean? Like, literally 2 teams on the field at the same time? Or you can hot swap between 2 teams? I don't know. You'd probably want to define that a little more, but in general, they upped the mob limit for the new Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nuts. So I think we maybe, once again, in Mr. Delightworks' Wild Ride, anything is possible.
I'm thinking about it a little bit, and I really don't have any one way to say or another, but I do think it would be weird. Because, like, you gotta remember, if you're just talking about having 2 teams that you can just, whip out, this is literally why you have, 10, party setups, so you can make your teams as needed and just pick between them. If you have 6...
That process, by the way, they've really streamlined over the years.
If you have 6 teams on the field, what the fuck is your command deck gonna look like? You only get 5 cards. You have 5 cards, 6 servants. What are you gonna make?
Yeah, that would probably really fuck with the algorithm. So again, I would ask for clarification, perhaps what you mean by 2 teams, like literally 2 teams at once, or what?
Reaper, don't tell me this shit. Don't tell me this shit. I don't know. No.
Oh well, no. Also Lucky will have many opportunities because I think a Saber Astolfo has 3 friggin' rate ups in 2 years.
Yeah, I know he's on the APOC rate run, and he's on this APOC commemoration here, so
not to mention, he's limited, so GSSRs.
Yeah, so and Super Orion, I was gonna roll on Super Orion just because I'm all, look at this beefcake, but nope, Nope.
He is also the super meta, but I don't care about that.
No.
I got shit to do, okay, guys?
I'll live.
Anyway, the only man for me is the captain of the sea, Odysseus. Oh, captain, my captain. And his giant robot.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You're trying to activate... You're trying to
reverse psychologize me.
But I'm going to reverse your reverse psychology, though, so it's like, ah!
Also, Lucky won't remember we had this conversation by the end of this month.
Probably not, no.
Lucky may not remember we had this conversation by the end of this episode, because I'm going to melt his brain later.
Please no. I need that.
Well, it depends on how much attention you pay.
I might need to go play Final Fantasy or something. Anyway.
No, you probably want to be interested, because there's some name drops in here that you're going to be like, wait a second. Wait a minute.
It's gonna...
Curiouser and curiouser is the lore.
It's gonna pop in like, So, where was I?
We just finished the thing about the double teams.
There we are. Alright, so thank you very much, we move on. Next one, this one comes from the Hierophant that is doing okay. Hey guys, interesting fact to mention that High Priest is another word for the Hierophant tarot card. Yes.
Also in the original Italian, the Pope, but some people thought that was not cool.
Yeah.
That's really
knowing this fact gives me the opportunity to say something. Yorokobe shonen. And hope you guys have a happy Halloween. I'm not actually planning doing that much on Halloween. I usually haven't for the past couple years. I might change that.
You know what you're doing on Halloween?
What?
You're gonna fight a space vampire.
Hey, I'm in the spirit
Sunday.
already. That's right. I'm gonna try and punch his gourd. I wish I had my gourd.
We learned some things. We'll talk about it when we next do the AP. This game system is not super written. I hope when Edge does all these reprints, they maybe do an editing pass, please. Please, guys. You have the power. Please. No, I'm sure they're super busy actually trying to get new products fucking written and printed through supply chain shortages and God knows what else. Anyway.
They go on to say, I wish I could type more, but the regulations that involve I want to learn how to word this one question better in my head, but I couldn't think of anything else to help with that. So that shall be asked next week. Anyways, hope you guys have a nice day, and hopefully this wasn't worded too weirdly or anything. No, it's fine. It's fine. Trust me, if we have a problem with it, you will know. But we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Sensua's Love, Sensua's Life. They say, ahoy! I hope the CQs weren't too much of a pain.
I haven't done them yet, and I probably won't do the second one that's super hard, because like I said, don't got the seals anymore.
Like,
isn't the double X one not too bad?
Real talk. I did that one, like, with the most complete bullshit thing I did. I took fucking comma double Scotty, and I beat it in 4 turns. I don't know how it worked, but it did.
Yeah, no, that one's probably not too complex.
So I'm gonna just slap you a combo for some odd reason. I'm like, okay, this works. Didn't have to spend seals, didn't have to spend sync coins or nothing. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna hit you real hard, now you're charmed. Now you can't do anything. I'm gonna slap you a few more times. Behold, my NP is back again. I'm gonna slap you again. Oh, he didn't finish you off? Well, just, a couple more of whatever Kama's weapon is. I can't remember what the fucking thing is called. Anyway. And, I will say that the second one wasn't a pain, because I literally didn't care. I was just gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna fucking push this fucking St. Quartz button and fire off MPs until this is done. Which, in one way, is, not a pain.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
Monkey flip.
So, thank you very much for that. We're gonna move on. This next one comes from He Who Had No Apples to Use on This Event.
Rip.
Ooh, that is pain. Yeah, no, actually,
but
Legendary
Space
Reaper.
Rip Stingy Eyes.
That was my thing. It was like, I'm getting 5 tickets out of that. That's 15 quartz. 1 quartz is fine in 3 command seal, because you also get like 10 million QP, and did you get a lore for the second one as well? I forget. I know you get a lore for the first one.
It's just the tickets, or is it 2 lores? No, you get a lore in the missions for the first quest. I don't think you get the second lore from that one. I don't remember. Usually you get 2 lores in events, so I'm not sure where they line up. I'd have to double check. Okay, you do get a lore from finishing the quest. Okay.
Yeah, no. So I was like, a lore, 5 tickets, and 10 million. I was like, that's worth a quartz. Anyway, this person goes on to say, hey, looking to make it, no question. Just hoping you had as much fun and dark rights to the challenge quest I had, and have a nice day. If I mentioned the challenge quest hasn't immediately ruined it. No, it was fine. It's fine. I said, I literally unga bunga'd it. Like, I took my
head empty, no thoughts, wallet open.
Like, I literally took my damage team because, fun fact, you can do the entire story part of this with fucking, Spacious Tar, MHX, and Calamity Jane. I found this out. So I was just like, fuck it, Unga Bunga team. I slapped around some nights that round, Tristan sucked ass, so did fucking Gareth, but I unga bunga them down. They killed me. I got up. I unga bunga them again. I got knocked down. I got up again. I unga bunga'd them.
You're never gonna keep him down.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I might be able to scuff it, or I might not. I have to do the other one first. I'm literally, because the show is taking long enough, my phone is charged. I am, like, literally wrapping up my other nonsense missions now, so we'll see. Probably not tonight, because I kind of want to wrap up the show and, like I said, go back to sweet, sweet Guardians of the Galaxy, but we'll see if I can scuff it or not. I do have some bullshit. Anyway, let us continue.
And we continue. Thank you very much for this. The next one comes from the Eternal Storm. He says, hey, guys, no question this week. Just hope you both enjoyed the event and getting ready for a free 4-star. Do we have a free 4-star ticket coming up or something?
Allegedly. Remember, we had that discussion earlier, the Babylonia thing, but that happened already, so we don't know. A lot of people are swearing by the fact that we will get another one in November because that's when JP got one, and I'm like, I don't know, though. We already did that event. We already got the ticket for that thing. That's different.
People are weird.
Some people in our community are very self-assured. Sometimes I wonder if to their detriment. But I mean, if you don't care that you're wrong on the internet, which why should you? That's okay. So long as you don't fight with people about your correctness, I guess. There was Dallas told me that he was a little bit at his wit's end when people were arguing about when Saber Wars would start. Before it started, he was a little just kind of done with things for a little bit there. Because people got into a little bit of arguing in circles. But it's fine. Everything works out, everybody. Just relax. It happens when it happens. You know, it's all just a kind of a Zen thing, man. Zen.
So, with that, though, we're going to move on. So thank you very much. This next one comes from Sakura Fan 07. Is it Padre time yet? It is not. After, this is my official policy. After Halloween, there can be mild pottering, but only after Thanksgiving can you go ham with pottery, and I won't get mad. So the question is, how mad do you want to get lucky? Yes, that is the proper English, actually. I had to think about that.
Yeah, your grammar was correct. But listen, guys, it's a threefold system. October, Halloween. November, Thanksgiving. December, Christmas. They're all at the end of the month. You can't be jumping the line.
Also, remember, Lucky works on a meter system. You get that meter high enough, I will just kick you, no questions asked.
Did you just say no questions ass?
I might have. I'm thinking about butts, like, constantly.
I mean, you did put a butt in the thumbnail.
Yes, I did.
There was a dramatic pause where everybody's face turns to the butt we can't see but we know exists in the video.
Ephemeral butt.
And now we move on to the question.
We move on. Yes, so they say, hey, Lucky Omega, how are you guys? Saber Wars II was pretty fun and probably the fastest event I've cleared thus far. Here are your queries for the week. We already had this discussion, Architect. We're talking about North America Thanksgiving.
No, Lucky's Heat Bar is the 200% mad meme from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Lucky, first off, is your scooter fixed yet? Add 1 to the day.
Ding!
Hopefully it's fixed by the time you read this. Not sure if asking Defensi if you can use your shadow border for work travel would be good. And secondly, hope you've had time to think about this. How would you imagine a servant verse Sakura? No, I like Sakura verse. That sounds great. Actually, no, wait, that was literally just fucking Beast.
Yeah, that was just the bottom floor of the OQ. He's thinking about it.
So, So I did think about it, but I realized the more I thought about it, the more it's like, the more you want to change things, the more things you want to stay the same. So I was trying to think of, like, where Sakura would actually fit in this sort of universe. Because, like, so I'm trying to think of it in the terms of the original FSN cast and where they are now in the server views. Arturia has turned into MHX or MHXX and, has joined the Space Cops. Ren was kind of this bounty hunter, but also a, evil overlord of an evil society.
Also, if we're talking about original dynamics, Space Rin already has a sister herself.
Yeah, it's weird. And then Emiya, who will just, turn to, Shiro to Emiya, is Chief Red, which we really don't know about, but assume is to be some sort of man in this fucking galactic police, which seems to be some sort of actual secret society? It's weird. They're not actually the police. They're like some secret police bullshit. It's weird.
Yeah, because I think Jane told MHX about it, and she was like, "That's real."
Yeah, and apparently MHX will join it in 2 seasons. Apparently, So Sakura, I was trying to think of in Reacts is whatnot. I think Sakura would have to be basically our Sakura would probably have to be some sort of military officer in like some sort of captaining a military vessel. Like if Chief Red and Arturia are with the not police, I think Sakura would be best as actually like some sort of military officer with authority. And I think it'd be great because she would still have the I don't want to say the Sakura style comfort and want to take care of people, but she's gonna have that backed with military power, which I think is perfectly hilarious. So yeah, military officer Sakura is where I think Sakura verse again, where Servant versus Sakura will fit.
Her ship piloted by Space Medusa, the pilot.
Yeah.
Granny Bike.
Yes.
Give me Scooty Puff Jr. references in Saber Wars II, but I don't know if I watched Futurama over there.
So yeah, it would just be so Sakura would also probably be a writer of some kind, and also I just might want to see Sakura in a military uniform. Do I have a thing for girls in uniform? Yes I do, but unfortunately I haven't really put more thought into that. So don't ask me about Noble Phantasm stuff and whatnot. But from there we shall move on. They go on to say, and Omega, here is your query. Last week you said, teach me with this Sion as a subject was potentially on the table. I'm looking forward to that segment when it comes available. Which means to this question, will the Lightworks change Mashu's Noble Phantom to reflect her using that certain barrel? Is that a one-time use story thing?
I don't know.
Isn't that just a skip?
I think they changed her bunker bolt to reflect the fact that she's got the Black Barrel replica, which is not technically a spoiler because we've seen it in the CM, and this is a known factor about Sion from Melty Blood. She's got a copy of the Black Barrel. But I think they go with a different direction for Lost Belt 6, so I do not know at this point if it's coming back or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said that whether it's temporary or permanent, I still don't remember, and we don't need to go into details. That may or may not be a spoiler, but I believe MASH got her Noble Phantasm back from Lost Belt 6, though did not get her extra NP levels.
Mm-hmm.
When will MASH be Bond 10, and when will she be NP5 to Lightworks? What are you hiding from me? Anyway, but yeah, so I do not know where the Black Barrel is going to go from here. We will see as the story unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're getting closer to that story, because that was I believe Mash with a Gun was the big reveal of the not Atlantis but Olympus
yes.
CM. Many memes.
So
call an ambulance, but not for her. Call an ambulance, but not for Senpai.
So they go on to say, looking forward to Nightingale Christmas pregame in Atlantis, maybe filled with BS pregame, and hopefully the time will come for all the masters in North America to punch Will Daime's light out / kick him in the nads with Magecraft strengthening steel-toed mini rocket boots.
I have rocket boots. Is Da Vinci gonna give us rocket boots? Is that a spoiler?
I would love rocket boots.
I mean, they are pretty cool. Yeah, you'll be waiting a while on that Nightingale thing, by the way. It's several weeks away, but we'll get there. We get there when we get there.
We get there when we get there. Keep up the great work, stay safe and cool, and you guys rock. It's probably not Potteru time yet. Maybe I'll play some Terraria later. I think I do have rocket boots in there. Listen, I love rocket boots. Rocket boots do not love me, though. So this next one comes from Alias Unproven Zed, just Unproven Zed. That's a name. Records from the Throne. I managed to get Space Ishtar, MXX, Calamity, and Jane. They all came home in a single 80-pack, which is nice for my wallet. Well, bully for you. Not all the world's evil, but they ain't close. Man, it's kind of annoying when you're trying to level servants for an event, but you find out you're being screwed over Ascension by year 1 mat. I have lots of bones, but neglect to stock up on proofs, it seems. Comment. Hey, Lucky and Mega, no question this week. Just sending you 2 good vibes and hope you enjoyed that Saber Wars II. I'll naturally be hearing about your opinions on the subject as you usually do, so I look forward to that. Keep up the good work.
I still have 500 hero proofs.
Yeah, I got a lot too, but like I said, I talked about, I'm not.
That's the year 1 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll scooch swiftly on.
We will move swiftly on. This next one comes from Ayas, the one who reunited a couple after the YOLO spook roll. YOLO roll spook. Considering that when servants die in the Shining Blue Galaxy in the Servantverse, they are eventually reborn, does that apply the same to servants that die in the Origin Universe? I asked due to the fact that Astar's origin curse of immortality on Sigurd and Jane becomes pointless as all the servants would be more or less immortal. Also wondering as the way they talked about the things afterwards, it sounds like there were only 2 people who were alive from the year 2,000 years ago, and none of the other servants being alive in the Shining Blue Galaxy. Sincerely, I asked the one who YOLO'd after being woken in the middle of the night by a nightmare.
Okay, so some of the late game story stuff blurred together because I was doing it a lot in the middle of the night. I don't remember that detail about, like, being reborn. I know that because MHX crosses over to the other side, and then MHXA is like, no, it is not your time. Pat, go home.
Well,
fight in the hyperbolic time chamber and go home.
They do explain that servants don't actually die, but when they die, they just appear sometime later, somewhere later.
Yeah, so I guess it sounds like just your spirit origin is still recorded, and then when your energy disperses, you come back eventually-ish.
Well, the way I think of it is it's probably like the summoning system is. Like you're probably just resummoned as blah de blah, and as summoning works now, like those servants don't necessarily remember what happened during their life. They have the knowledge they need to get by. Now, so this probably means that in 2,000 years, a lot of shit can happen. I'm pretty sure most servants have just bit the bullet in one way or another and got reset. Because let me tell you right now, this is the problem with the immortality. 2,000 years of memories is bullshit. This is like one of the things like, time is relative. Yeah, a lot of stuff happens. I mean,
I assume it's part of why Jane seems a little scatterbrained. Some of it's an act, but also some of it's just she's busy thinking about lots of stuff. Mm-hmm. But no, I believe the idea was that, like, the curse of immortality is you don't die the normal way, and so you sit around for a long time, and all your friends are dead.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends moved on. Are dead. But yeah, also, I wouldn't think too hard about it. It's Saber Wars II. I'm pretty sure it literally told me not to think too hard about it. But yeah, so I think there's some resonance on the details there, and guess what? The exact mechanics of this alternate universe dumb idea are not clearly explained, so.
So with that, we'll move on. Thank you very much for this. This next one comes from a simple Musashi enjoyer. Hi, Lucky Omega. First time sending a letter to the mailbag. Hope you're all doing well and having a good day. So I've been seeing that the Camelot Part 2 I have been seeing the Camelot Part 2 movie in theaters this week. Great movie overall, besides people talking most of the time and complaining about not understanding the plot of the second movie, that they didn't bother to watch the first one.
People talk in your theaters? That's legal?
Well, it's not illegal anywhere.
I know, I'm joking.
My question is...
Firefly. Special hell. People who talk during theater.
My question is, did you ever watch the movie from a series and seen people complain about not understanding it and calling it bad? P.S. Hope my grammar wasn't that hard to understand, and have a good day. I understand what you said, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, if I remember correctly, you said you're from Israel, so English might be your second language. So, but I also remember, because we had a bit of a conversation about this where I yelled at someone for a little bit, then I realized I was in the wrong. Oh no.
I mean, there was a little bit of back and forth about the stuff. Some analogies were used.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say in my personal experience, no, I've never, like, it's not typical. I don't go to a lot of movies, so maybe that's why. But when I go out to a movie, usually people are pretty quiet in the theater.
Yeah.
Usually I'm seeing, newer stuff, so it's not like we've got a lot of, like, fan involvement. I've never gone and, like, seen a screening of, like, a classic film or anything like that, so. I know sometimes people get rowdy during certain ones of them. There's obviously, quote-unquote audience participation during certain movie films,
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may know about kind of the Rocky Horror Picture Show scene. There's a lot of audience gags you kind of do when you go to a showing of that, but that's different. So normally people are relatively tame. Like, if a movie's really good, you'll get some people who go out in the audience. I've had that a couple of times. I think in The Last Jedi, somebody, like, not only audibly gasped, but, like, made a sound when they did the hyperspace blade sequence.
I'm pretty sure I heard, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but or maybe when I went to go see it, of someone just going, damn, when it happened. Sometimes when you just have, because I'm the same way, like, here, like, it's considered, what's the word I want to say?
Impolite.
It's socially unacceptable to speak during most
Like, it's one of the few times where strangers are basically socially not only allowed but encouraged to, like, get in your grill. Like, if you've got a phone out in a movie or you're talking, like, people will, like, turn around and shush your ass like it's a fucking library.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I hate social embarrassment, so I usually stay the fuck quiet during movies.
I'm an animal. I'll play on my phone during a movie if, like, I'm saying, but it's usually the brightness is low and everything's muted, so it doesn't actually fucking bother anybody.
Well, also, I'm pretty sure in modern times the rule about cell phones is the theater doesn't want you to pirate the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have my fucking phone up, camera blazing. No, I'm usually playing, like, FGO or something quietly.
Yeah, no, I think what they're about is about light pollution and about you talking on the phone, because before cell phones were smartphones, some of you are probably too young to remember this. I mean, that's probably not that weird, because the first iPhone was, what, like, 07, 08? Like, some of the people who are alive now and listen to our show could be able to, vote and still not remember that. Because they would have been, like, what, like 5 or 6? I don't know, math. I'm not very good at guerrilla math. But you would just, the only thing your phone was good for was maybe texting, usually talking, or, this is another way throwback, from the early to mid 2000s, there was this walkie-talkie feature that was really obnoxious, and if you missed it, thank your lucky stars. It was really neat, but then smartphones came out and you don't need it anymore. And it was very obnoxious sounding. But that is why cell phones were discouraged, because you would just be talking, probably loudly, because you're talking into a cell phone and you sound like shit, and nobody can understand you. So, yeah, to go back to the original question we started, I don't usually hear people verbally complaining at the theater. Occasionally, when you leave, you might talk with your friends or family, or you might overhear some people going, wow, that sucked, or that was weird, or that was really good, But, like, in the theater, we go in there, and I haven't ever really heard people complain about not seeing previous bits, other than maybe my own parents, like, because we sometimes go out to theaters on my birthday, as a family thing, other than them being like, wow, there was some stuff I feel like I missed there, or, like, for a lot of Marvel stuff, because I kept up on those movies way better than they did. Lucky you hear anybody actually, like, outburst in the theater about not understanding?
No, because, like, because the more I think about, because here's the thing, I don't usually go to see, like, sequels and stuff. I don't, like, here's the thing, if I saw someone if I heard someone, like, go to, like, Heaven's Feel 2 or Heaven's Feel 2, 3 and be like, what the fuck is this movie about? I'll be like, did you not see the previous ones? Like, I have a problem, like, I know this is kind of weird, but I have trouble believing that dumb people exist. I really do. It's just one of those moments, like, why would you go see the second movie if you haven't seen the first one? Why would you go see the third one if you haven't seen the second one? It's like, I'm kind of that person. I have a hard time playing games out of order. It's all like, yeah, you need to play, like, you don't need to play, like, all these other games. You just need to play the fourth one. I'm just like, no, I'm going to play the first 3, otherwise I'm going to be fucking confused. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think the best example of that now is Marvel, because that is a sprawling universe of films which are of various levels of connected. Mm-hmm. And let's be real, some of them you can totally skip. But it would be like the things that do not make sense are if you, like, went into, say, the second Ant-Man movie without having seen the first Ant-Man movie. Then that's like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, because here's the thing, like, because I have not seen, like, I can't go watch Endgame because I haven't seen Infinity War. Like, so I'm just like, no, I can't do that. But, like, I've gone and watched, like, Spider-Man Far From Home because, I've watched Spider-Man Homecoming. So I'm like, yeah, no, it's like, there's an order to these things. And if you just break
it still kills me that Far From Home's not on streaming. I like Spider-Man, guys. They're already going on to the third one. Mm-hmm. Sony, please, help me out here. Just give Disney Plus you don't own a streaming service. Give Disney the ability to stream the movies they co-produced, please.
Like, I want to go see Venom 2, but I haven't seen Venom 1. Yeah, I'm also excited for No Way Home. 1. I'm also excited for No Way Home.
Well, God, yeah, because we just talked about, we've talked before about a lot of our ethos is, hey, OG Spider-Man movies, the Tobey Maguires, like, that was my jam back in the day. Like, you don't, Marvel has got this down to a science, but, like, before that, it was, like, the first X-Men and the first couple Spider-Mans were the good shit for comic book movies.
I mean, they literally brought back fucking the Doc Ock, the same Doc Ock. I can't remember his name to save my
Alfred
life,
Molina.
Thank you.
Excellent Dr. Octopus. Oh,
Yes.
and my God, if they get Defoe, who sells it so hard in that movie as the Goblin. Well, and also the Spider-Man movies, the OG Spider-Man movies, did something that's so amazing that it stuck to this day. They cast A.J. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, something which has stuck so much that the PS4 Spider-Man did that. They brought him back as J. Jonah because that's how fucking iconic it is.
Mm-hmm.
Those movies are great. Goddamn.
And don't let anyone fool you. They were actually fucking commercial successes.
No, I mean the third one they kind of killed it because we know that production was troubled. And honestly, I've heard that the production on the second movie was troubled too. Like people were like melting down off screen and stuff. But the movie's fucking amazing. So many iconic. They're also if you watch Spider-Verse, they do several callbacks to those. They replicate the iconic shot where the car is coming in and Peter realizes and stops it and catches it. Like that's for Spider-Man 2. It's gonna be pretty cool. But there's some other stuff that I, for instance, haven't bothered to watch. I don't think I need to see Captain Marvel. I still haven't watched Black Widow, even though I think it's on streaming everywhere. Like, you don't always need to keep up with these things. Now, if I remember rightly, to refocus this on Fate and probably conclude this question once and for all, I do believe if I remember this person, because they talked about it on our Discord, they did say that the first one hadn't been shown in theaters in their region, I think. So that could be a reason why people didn't realize maybe that it was a second part. I mean, it's not like the two Camelot movies are very helpfully subtitled. So I don't know if I'm remembering that rightly. I could see some confusion there. I feel like that's a weird thing that only happens with like licensing anime movies or some shit, or possibly some like low rent, or not low rent, but like lower level film series. Like that's not going to happen with your major blockbusters, you know. Well, there's that too, but I mean, I know a lot of people who watched Babylonia and hadn't played the game, and they were like, "What the heck is this?"
Like, here's the thing: something is always gonna be someone's first, and like thing into the series.
But to go out and buy a movie ticket and be like, "I don't know what this is," that's a little weird still. But I guess I can kind of understand if there was a little bit of confusion if that bit I said was right, that the Part 1 movie didn't come out in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a little weird, but other than that, Okay, but I think we talked that one to death, and we talked a lot about Spider-Man.
I really do need to go see some more movies.
I hear Dune is good, but I don't think we're going to go out to the theater anytime soon.
I think I could wait for Dune to be on some sort of streaming service.
Well, it's already on HBO Max, but that's my fucking curse. Those guys are going to get my money before too long. I hate their guts, but they're going to get my money. Because I'm so tired of just hearing so much about all these fucking movies I want to catch up with, and I'm just like, God damn it, fucking Warner Brothers, HBO. But I've heard it's good. And it's good as in, like, they only cover, like, 50% of the movie and leave it open for a sequel, and I'm like, good, dude's fucking dense. I love the old Dune adaptation from, like, the 80s, but it's fucking weird, guys.
It's from the 80s, man.
Oh, well, also it's David Lynch. I forgot his name for a second, but yeah, notorious weird man, David Lynch. But I love it. Father, the sleeper has awakened. We've got that on HD DVD somewhere around here, and I think we don't have any more HD DVD players, which is a terrible shame. If we do, I should fucking steal it. I'll watch Dune all the time. Anyway.
Don't Xbox 360s play HD DVDs?
I've never owned an Xbox.
Dude, I can get you one super fucking cheap.
I bet you can. That's what I should do. Hey, Lucky, borrow me an Xbox 360 from the office.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. We get so many fucking Xbox 360s through nowadays.
Well, I mean, they're rotating now. That's a couple generations old.
Mm-hmm. I think when I left work today, I think I had like 4 somewhere at my desk. And we're not just talking like the consoles. It's like the console, 2 controllers, the cables, and like 10 games. I see. Yeah,
that is clearly we've run out of space in our entertainment console. What do we get rid of? Well, I guess the 360. It's the oldest.
Actually, no. I think I have a 360 because I got it from my. Anyway. Okay, no,
we got 3 left. Like, let's just wrap this out. Let's bang this out real quick.
All right. Sorry.
If you liked that, tune into What's Up.
Omega, I think I am literally gonna make up What's Up, dog, and link it to you later, and be like, just write shit down. Write it down. I think I'm gonna do that later.
Sure, go for it. I always forget stuff, and I got some stuff I do want to talk about this week.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, though, we're going to move on. This next one comes from Bunny Girl read too many books, is now too strong for Cat Girl girlfriend. Haha, joke's on you. Now I have a fucking Dragon Girl fiance. Ha 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 ha. It's great. I have leveled up. But they say, evening guys, here's a question for this week. Do you guys ever do something that was okay in game, but feel very dirty for doing it afterwards? Like paying for a booster, increased drops, etc.
Don't know. Well, I guess they are asking us. I don't know how this is related to FGO.
I mean, it's probably like, I've never
spent Saint Quartz on AP, but I have used Saint Quartz for continues.
Yeah, it's like, it's like one of those things, the pay to win strats, I guess you could say.
I don't know if I've technically ever used paid Saint Quartz to continue though.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have somewhere. I don't know if I.
But that's because you constantly go to zero Saint Quartz and buy more. So I bet you have a lot more paid Saint Quartz in rotation. My paid Saint Quartz usually lurks in the back for months at a time.
Like, probably not an FGO. Like, never an FGO. Like, listen, I might have felt bad. Well, honestly, I probably felt bad about spending money in the beginning, but that ship has long sailed.
I'm trying to think. I've used some like free EXP boosters and stuff in like some online games. I don't think I've ever actually paid for any. Or if I did, it was part of like buy a currency bundle. Also get, blah 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 EXP boosters or whatever, Like it wasn't the point was to buy like boosting EXP or anything. It was because I was like Rainbow Six Siege, I want currency. You never give me any. I'll give you like $40. Give me enough currency to buy all the operators I like. And they were like, thank you, come again.
Like, no. Like, I never felt... I don't think I've ever felt necessarily dirty. I maybe felt exasperated or bitter about things, but never dirty, because I'm just like, these motherfuckers, I'm trying to play this game, and they just keep waving these things like, oh, you can do this. Fuck you guys. I'll fucking do it, but fuck you. Nyah.
You violently throw your wallet at their face.
Pretty much. So I've never felt dirty. I've just felt jaded about things, I guess.
That's probably a good way to put it. Yeah, that's probably how I felt.
But we're going to move on, so thank you very much for that. The next one comes from The Abandoned Warehouse, who says, hey, dear Lucky Omega, long time without posting because work has been difficult, and then depression hit like a truck, sadly without getting isekai. But I'm finally back in shape, so yay! Well, I would like to say, good recovery. Question, is there a servant you considered as underrated? My pick would be Helena Castor. Arrivederci. Lucky, that second DO is going to be the death of me. DO, I don't understand this acronym. It's probably something I do get if someone explains it to me, but Lucky's drawing a blank. Second DO. A deer?
A female deer? Ray? A drop of golden sun? No, I'm not doing the whole thing.
I'm trying to think here.
Underrated servants, though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are servants I've said are underrated by people, but it's hard to remember. There's like over 300 units. And quite frankly, a lot of people sleep on a lot of stuff because they just think about meta and they don't think about, working with what you got kind of a thing,
Like, honestly, I'm trying to think of someone that I use probably more than other people do, like on a regular basis, but... Because unfortunately, I don't consider any of my mains to be underrated, like, at all. Like, all my soccer faces, they goo. All my Tamamos, they goo. Like, if this had been like a couple years ago, I could have been like Tamacat. Because before she got her tanking abilities,
yep,
she was a bit there. But like I said, they did her good. She do goo.
Yeah, they really improved that one.
But other than that, like there's like some low rarity servants that I use on the reg when I'm doing like certain farming strats, like Blackbeard. Like I use Blackbeard a lot in my thing, but he's not necessarily like great. He's just solid at what he does. Like, hey, do I need an AoE Berserker? Yes, I do. I mean, not Berserker, AoE Raider, Buster Raider. I'm like, here we go, Blackbeard. You don't cost as much as Drake. Just fire. Rings and revenge. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. That's what I needed, brother.
Yeah.
Like, kill those doors. But, unfortunately, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Heck.
No, I'd have to dig through my normal team comp, but no, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty standard in that I use units who are commonly good. I just haven't, gone the nines on getting all the units that are commonly good. Casters, use Waver and Merlin a lot. Fall back on, like, Kazgil. I don't use him as much anymore, but I use Leonidas a lot for budget buster support back in the day and tanking. I don't know if Leonidas was ever as, like, popular as, like, George and some of the others, but he was still up there. So, yeah, I don't know. I think everything's pretty normal. All right.
Then. That's that one. And now we move on to the final one. This last one comes from Space Agent 418, who says, hello, Lucky Omega. Hope everyone has a whimsical weekend. Well, thank you. I hope yours is filled with just as much whimsy. And we're done!
Fancy! Alrighty, we are done. under 2 hours. An hour 48 on the mission clock. That still was like an hour and a half, though.
Mm-hmm.
Good old mailbag.
Mailbag.
This is why we do occasionally need the timer. But with that out of the way, I believe our next step would be called a free talk, which would be Saber Wars II final thoughts, basically. Because there's, not that much left to talk about. Lucky is at 100 missions done. I'm at like 98 missions done or whatever, or 99. And I haven't had time to try either of the last 2 challenge quests yet, so, there's not much to talk about there. Lucky's already talked about his experience because you asked us. So we will do our big boy wrap-up. I think both of us were like roughly halfway done with our missions when last time we did this. Maybe a little over, 2/3. And neither of us had gotten really deep in the guts of the Dark Mana part of the storyline. So basically, the climax, the third act. It goes pretty much how you'd expect. You have this, you do get captured briefly, so of course they can escape from prison. They actually do kind of an interesting thing where they split you up into, like, your 3 teams, and you have to solo some stuff. MHX has her solo showdown with Sigurd, and then uses her Noble Phantasm to destroy the core, because it's like a dragon heart. Blah, 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 backstory. Somewhere in there, we do kind of a reveal, but kind of not, because nobody really cares that Jane is secretly a goddess assassin who is just waiting for Space Ishtar to turn bad so she can plug her in the back, maybe. Kind of. It's a little weird. Like, I think they're just going for, like, the joke stock reveal, right? But also, like, literally nobody cares. Like, Space Ishtar is like, whatever. There's, the usual, like, fucking Munenori does the, I killed your father. And then Space Ishtar's like, you motherfucker, you killed my father, prepare to die. The big reveal that everybody saw coming, because it's a Star Wars reference, Space Ishtar and Astarte are twins! Woo! One of them's the evil twin, and one of them's the good twin. And it's not the ones you think about. That's the real twist.
I saw that coming.
Well, yeah, it's foreshadowed, but it's not proven unless you collect all the goddess tapes.
Yeah.
Because basically, once you collect all the goddess records, you realize that Professor Tokiomi, who was one of the last masters, so he was a human, he was like, so the goddess split her core into 2 halves, one of evil and one of good, love and hate. Well, I'm gonna do a funny. I was gonna raise the good one, but I decided, no, you know what's better? What if I raised the one that was rejected? Nature versus nurture, bitch. Throws the mic on the floor. So, yeah, Space Ishtar has been the quote-unquote evil one the whole time, which explains why she, has her bouts of greed and whatever, and selfishness. And Astarte has been the good one the whole time, which explains why, despite being a bad guy and doing bad things, she's usually very, like, noble and attentive.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives them the knowledge when you go to the big climax to let them actually punch out Astarte Origin.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, by the way. They don't go for a third name here. I believe the OG Japanese went for 3 names. The third form was Ashtoreth. But that is a biblical name, so I could see why Delightworks over here, Aniplex over here, might not have wanted to go with that, and they just do Astarte Origin.
Mm-hmm.
There's some more drama, though, in between, blah, blah, blah. I do like the funny bit where if you enter the final quest without enough goddess records, you get to see the whole cutscene leading up, and then, you white out, and MHXA is just like, no, it is not your time. It is not snack time for you. Go back. You must return.
I didn't see that part because I heard some people actually had problems with this.
I have heard some people complaining about the Ultrium shortage. I didn't really have a shortage. I was trying to rush the story, so I was just like, hey, what quest do I get kicked out of? Oh, it's this one. Okay, I'll go back and finish. I had 2 bounty quests left to do, so I did them. I was just like, I have no idea when the thing happens.
Yeah, no, because I was I was constantly trying to make sure I had all my missions done. So I was constantly running around everywhere, like farming, 5 in each map and all that stuff. So,
and if you do the game that way, you will assuredly catch up and do all the requisite bounty quests.
Yeah, I know. So, I never got to see the whiteout screen.
It's pretty funny, but it's short. It's like the first half of the cutscene is normal. It goes up until the part where Astarte is going to sacrifice herself, and then Astarte Origin shoots a bunch of beams at you, and then you white out, and like I said, Echen shows up, and she's like, You've goofed this up. Perhaps you should go back. I will use my powers over time and space to send you back. Make sure you have all your goddess records. Goodbye. Whoop.
I'm glad I didn't get that, because I really feel that would have broken the moment.
I mean, yeah, it's a little goofy, but it's basically that's what it is. It's like, you literally can't do this, you gotta go back. Like, you don't even do the fight, it just kicks you out of the quest. But yeah, and then, there's a lot of back and forth. You beat up Munenori before this, but that's enough for, like, Astarte to, like, fuel the revival of the actual Astarte origin, who was the old galaxy, because she's, like, the galaxy, but also the universe. We throw a lot of these words around a little weirdly. As an actual, like, space nerd, it's a little weird, because galaxies, while huge, are not actually that huge compared to the whole ass universe. Because guys, I don't know if you know this, but the universe is made up of clusters and superclusters of galaxies. Multiple galaxies clustered together in systems, ever moving apart, ever stretching, ever distant. Except for that part where Andromeda's probably going to collide with us in, like, a bajillion years or so.
That's going to be fun. I think our system will still be around by that time.
Our sun might be. It's, like, really distant in the future, but we're only, like, in the middle of, like, a sun's life cycle, if even. Stars are wild.
I think we got, like, 4 or 5 billion years left on our sun. I don't remember.
We got a lot of bullshit if we're gonna last as a species. We'll definitely have had our opportunity and possibly squandered it to get the fuck out of here by then.
I'm hoping so.
By the way, if you've ever wanted a weird reason for, like, why, like, spirits and demons don't like iron, fun fact for you: I tweeted this out in the middle of the night when I came across this idea. If you're doing, like, an urban fantasy or something, remember, iron is the last material, the last element that stars fuse before they die. Stellar fusion doesn't go above iron in the periodic table. All the rest of those heavy elements are made when the star, like, explodes or reduces.
Even crazier space dust.
Yes, correct. But yeah, so it's a little weird, like, obviously, when you're, human-sized, something that's galactic scale is really fucking huge. But also, I'm not sure how that interacts with, like, becoming a different universe or timeline. I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be that serious.
It's not supposed to be that serious, but I can understand it. It's from the scale of human perspective.
Yeah, it is about the human scale. So Astarte Origin is a really big deal. You have to, like, actually, the two halves combine and become, the Origin version a little bit. And then, you just get in a punch fight. It's one of those classic FGO story fights where you get, like, all the fucking buffs.
Reaper, that's already happening. The sun is not a stationary object. It is hurtling through space, and we are literally following behind it.
I mean, we could, like, steer it, but that would be weird. Also, you would have to watch the hella recoil on a stellar engine. Megastructures are cool, but that's a different podcast. Anyway, God, don't get me going about hard sci-fi, or not even hard sci-fi, space stuff.
So I have to say, I really did like the final thought, because they really went ham on the fucking, like, on big numbers, do damage. It's
what is it? Origin has, like, 1 million or something HP.
Yeah, but you had, like, 80k.
Yeah,
HP.
I think they give like your NPC only Space Astarte, like, several 100,000 max HP up. You regen, like,
20k,
500k, 200k. It's big. You regen a huge number. You still have all your skills and shit. Your damage is through the roof.
It's like, I'm sorry, it's like the end of Tenkatapa Gurren Lagann, where we're just fighting. You're literally fighting on a galactic scale.
Yeah, and it's great. You fire your NP multiple times. It's really cool. They have the gag at the end. You almost get crushed by the shrine as it collapses, but then MHX, who you thought died because Sigurd did poke her a little bit with his dragon-killing sword.
Mm.
But don't worry, she got better after she had a near-death experience in the hyperbolic time chamber to get her skill upgrade. Oh, though that reminds me, I did see, this is unsubstantiated, but I did see someone in our Discord say that after this event, MHX's skill upgrade, her rank up quest, goes to the Kaldea Gate permanently.
I'm about to say, because I did it, and it said it was marked as an interlude, so...
Yeah, so, wherever that may or may not end up, if that's true, I don't know, but yeah, so if it did happen, that's cool. We didn't know that before. Anyway, so yeah, you've got the classic moves, one of your heroes comes back at the last minute. There's, the big epilogue about stuff. You find out that, Sigurd and Jane were really, really fucking old, and they knew the whole plot the whole time. We get to see Jane's other noble phantasm, the Polaris one.
By the way, what was up with that other Jane sprite?
Ah, yes, there's a credits where they show all the character sprites again. After you have your usual goodbye, you may or may not see the ghost of Astarte. I don't know. But with Billy the Kid, there is a redheaded woman with guns who shows up. And we don't know who this is. I've heard some people say that's supposed to be the Calamity Jane from Human Order. So the actual human universe Calamity Jane, not the space one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can post the screenshot. It's fine. If you want to remind people. We gave our spoiler warning. In case you couldn't tell, guys, spoilers, there's like 2 days left of the event if you missed it. This will be time-coded. You could skip it. But yeah, so I've also heard some people speculate that it could be Annie Oakley. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's a neat design no matter what. She's got like 4 revolvers. And a gun on her back. It's pretty interesting. I don't recognize the artist. But it's definitely like, you know what I mean? It's a something. It's definitely much more traditional, like you'd expect FGO to do a Western servant. You know, she's wearing Daisy Dukes, pulled up crop top.
It's like I say Calamity Jane, but it can't be actually Calamity Jane because her data mined design has been blonde and cheerleader forever.
Yeah, so that design was always meant to be Calamity Jane. If they decided this is what normal human Calamity Jane looks like, that's a retcon. Could be Billy's artist. That would make sense. So yeah, we don't know what this sprite is. So if there's any clarification and if you have a source on it, please let me know. If you got the source, don't just say shit. But it looks like a good design. I hope they eventually get to it as we continue to spiral down the hole of unused designs. Thanks, FGO. I really shouldn't throw stones. We're later we're gonna dive into the Family of the Mage Association, which is just the full power of hey, remember this background character? Guess what? They were important. And then the not 50, but legitimately I had to pare down my notes because it had a couple of descriptions of like families that were like described families of one character, and I was just like, nah, fuck it. We don't have time for this. If you only appear in like one work, I'll cut you. So I don't know, but it's interesting. Did someone say let's introduce like 4 units you'll never get for years and another Guda Guda? Yes, that is the problem. We're not working on that one fast either. There was no new Guda Guda this year, pretty sure. I don't think we didn't even get the rerun of last year's Guda Guda.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's coming up.
Yeah, it may or may not be coming up. We'll see what they do to fill time in November. So no new Guda Guda this year. We did get a new Halloween, which brought back yet another Liz and brought back all the welfare Liz's, and then brought in 2 new servants who we've never heard of before. Well, okay, that's not necessarily true with Jacques de Molay. Like, she's got a different, like, background and design, being the gender flip one, but, like, technically, they did already introduce the Saber version in arcade, but you know what I mean. So yeah, there's some weird shit going on, but we're not helping the backlog. Helping or hurting Delightworks. But overall, no, the event was pretty good. The credits were very, very neat. You go through all the stuff. You got to see our little cameo of Benny and Gawain, all that other stuff. And I mean, I don't think there's too much to say about the conclusion, because, as Lucky said, it's the whole, like, you were actually the evil twin the whole time. It's fairly well foreshadowed. I didn't really feel, like, bamboozled by any of the plot, My expectations weren't subverted.
It's still very solid, though.
Yeah, it's solid writing, it's good. You can kind of brush over some of the things that are a little weird or inconsistent because the whole thing is a reference to, like, cheesy sci-fi. Literally, as you're going away, as you're finally being teleported back, you're like, see you in part 3, baby! Bye!
Real talk, I would not mind seeing this animated, though. I think it actually has a pretty good through line.
No, this is one of those events that definitely, I think, could fit as, like, an OVA series or as a single core anime. Like, you've got the action scenes, you've got built-in transitions. We talked about this last time in our initial thoughts, but it has the built-in, like, cutaways to what the villains are doing thing, So, everything about this event is very well paced, right?
Right.
I think the only things that are outliers are the fucking kaiju comets, but whatever, you just cut those. Or put them in, like, a travel montage. They even go out of their way to add, like, quote-unquote bonus planets, so you can, like, go do some quests and stuff that you could cut. It's very well paced, very well written. I like a lot of the references and jokes to a lot of the sci-fi stuff. A lot of the characters are funny seeing these, familiar faces in these different contexts. Anastasia's goddamn cold. Omega Sensei comes back as a good joke. Lots of other fun stuff. I will say I feel like Space Sigurd was a little flat. Like, he doesn't really do anything weird. He's arguably more serious than a lot of the characters because he's actually tied into the whole backstory of what's going on, I think, a little. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of like, hello, thou art a dragon. I bought my Ascalon bucks today. But, he's got some interaction with MHX, which includes the whole joke thing. I'm not entirely sure why MHX is also a space ninja. Yeah, he is almost more serious than normal Sigurd. It's a little weird. They don't even do the thing with his helmet. I think it's because they already did. They did the flip-flop where, like, Munenori was the comedic straight man. Yeah. Like, he was playing the foil job to Astarte until the end, where he literally stabs her in the back.
Oh no, my son, but inevitable betrayal.
You mean, like, punchy as in, like, just, like, higher quality, or did you mean, like, more on the, like, jokes per minute kind of a thing, or jokes per beat, I should say? It was definitely a little more lighthearted. This is, based off of one of Type Moon's infamous April Fool's things, so I would not, nobody should be shocked if the dialogue was quippier and a little tighter on the yokes than usual. Like, obviously, like a lot of Fate stuff, this event has very serious implications when the story gets to its end, Two sisters fighting each other, sacrificed for power, destroying the whole goddamn universe. Swearing? Maybe a little more. That's probably a translation choice, because it really depends on the dialogue. The way, like, cussing in Japanese works is not like cussing in English.
No, it's more of a tone.
Yeah.
You speak impolitely.
Yeah, swear words are more about using nouns and pronouns that mean things, but using them in a rude way. And I have heard people translate, like 4 different ways, like 4 different English cuss words, It all depends on your tone and how rude you're being. Like, a lot of people translate teme as you bastard, but it's really just a rude way of saying you, but the only way you can convey that in English is like, you bastard, So I'm gonna guess because it was kind of a space western, maybe they punched up the dialogue a little, and it could be that maybe the characters were way more vulgar in the original Japanese,
Well, it would make sense, like, for Ishtar, yeah, it's a space western.
And Space Ishtar in particular is, a delinquent bounty hunter type, right? That could also be another joke about her, how she's really the evil one, like she's really, crass and rude, and then Astarte seems very formal and polite, right? That may have been part of the joke. That would be one of those linguistic things that does not translate well unless they do it like how they did it. I think the localization for this was fine, caught some of the references, caught some of the not references. I've definitely... All of Lost Belt 5 is going to be a fucking motherfucker.
Prepare for feels.
I believe start to finish. This is one of those great no breaks, all pain. No breaks on the pain train kind of episodes. And guess what, guys? We're going to have a fucking cliffhanger. You're going to have to wait like 3 months to get your second half. So buckle the fuck up. So yeah, this is a good, palate cleanser. Lets us stay kind of loosey-goosey, introduces us to new characters, and plays fun. I like how at the end, you get to do the, let me tell you about a goddess and a goddess from a long time ago in a place far away, or jokingly calling Ishtar adult Ishtar. And she's like, yes, I am an adult, but also what? You get to have some fun. It's good. Lucky, you got any other Saber Wars 2 thoughts?
No, I do kind of feel like Saber Wars 2, I think, is good in the fact that it doesn't try to overstay its welcome with, like, the thing. I know some people were, like, complaining about the farming, but I was like, again, the way I did it, it's like, no, I just did a few things every day. Like, I know some people who, also, like, literally...
I have a Space Ishtar. I raised her to level 90. And I am now at 8, 10, 10 on those skills, because boy howdy, guys, the egg farming in this event, way better than that raid. Way more egg drops in this event than in the raid I've gotten so far. But that plus 100% damage really does a lot.
It does. But, like, so I didn't ever felt the throwing minutes, but I kind of do wish they maybe expounded a bit more on the story beats. I know this is kind of supposed to be a jokey bit, But, like, I feel like...
There's clearly a lot of lore that Nasu has thought about for this that is not necessarily explored, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I do kind of agree. I feel like there were several points where, like, they clearly know that there's more to it, but they're just like, nah, but it's funnier if we don't explain anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true, but it's definitely like, okay, I still have questions, though. And I know some people, as I said in chat, they heard some people being annoyed they try to establish serious lore for the Servant verse, but I'm like, it's still jokes, though. Like, it's still, they still do the jokes of, like, being in seasons, you know. Spacious Star has her whole bit about, oh, well, clearly I'm 14 because that's when I reached my peak and stopped aging. Again, you see that, you look at the two sprites, they're not the same person anymore. It's funny like that, you know, and it still keeps the high joke density up, so... I don't think it's too serious or too jokey. It's got a nice median. I do kind of wish they'd explored the story bits a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of like the goddess scriptures, because that was a funny idea as a lore dump, but also some of those were just really short. Like Tokiyama just yelled at the camera really fast for a couple of them.
There was one lying around. I love that moment. Just opens with that.
Yeah. But all the characters are pretty fun. I liked all the interaction. It's kind of good to get that conclusion to MHX's story before she becomes Double X, even though we've already met her Double X version.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we are time cops, so what the fuck is linear time, am I right?
Hey.
Time is a flat circle, baby. But yeah, no, overall it was good. I will say I'm kind of glad, maybe it was because of damage bonus, maybe it's just because I was mentally prepared. I am glad that despite the fact this event does have a lot of unwinnable fights, none of them seemed too tedious, you know?
No, I think it was usually just like you had to survive to like turn 4.
Yeah, it was just turn 4 or 5. None of them were like actual struggles to survive. It was just mostly a lot of like tanking and stuff. You could even stall out by like charge draining or NP sealing with some of the bonus servants, you know. Story Jane doing a lot of work with that second skill.
Just
slipping off that charge. And so yeah, I was worried like reading all the big numbers on the bosses and stuff, it would be a pain, but honestly, like with you, Lucky, I did a decent because you have to farm Ultrium anyway, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I was decently prepared, and I had, you know, very high-level damage CEs going into some of those late fights, and it was like, oh yeah, Munenori has 600k HP. Doesn't fucking matter, Space Ishtar. Doesn't matter. Arts cards go burr. Rainbow burr. Shoot goddess beams. It's great. But yeah, if that's all of our Saber Wars 2 final thoughts, we hope that was satisfying for all y'all. I know that was a little shorter than we usually do. That was only like 15 minutes, but we already talked about our initial thoughts, and this event is not that story dense, you know?
Mm.
Like, there's plenty of story beats, but it's not like high density stuff. Like, it's not like a Lost Belt's worth of story, that's for sure. You know, it's something that you can get done in like a week. It's fine. So, with that out of the way, I think we can move on from the final thoughts into the big one. Crack nuts.
All right, well, I'm going to need to go stand up and walk around for a moment.
Yeah, let's take an intermission. We'll be doing this for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I will be right back.
Intermission. And we're back. I have also acquired me a bottle of water, which I will need, because I'll be saying a lot.
Hydration commence.
Yeah, alright, take a sip. Lube up those pipes. Okay. This is going to be a big one. So, let's start. This is Teach Me Omega Sensei. What was voted on by our lovely 5 and Up patrons. Support us on Patreon at the 5 and Up level. Our silver tier, you too can vote in topic polls. I'm pretty sure, unless something goes wacky-doo, our split is going to be basically what's up with Sion and the Melty Blood timeline, or I get to indulge Lucky's conspiracy board and talk about the Aozaki sisters, depending on how people vote, because that will also be a thing. You may get some hints on why that's going to be a thing in this very Teach Me, because they are a Mage Association family. But we're going to talk about the major families of the Mage Association. So I've got a couple of preface things. Number 1, we have previously described the Mages Association and the Clock Tower, so we're not going to deep dive into that again. You may want to track down that episode. I don't remember what number it is off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But you may want to track down that episode to remind yourself of some basic concepts, the ranking systems, you know, the different departments and stuff, and how that all works. Because we're going to be referencing that a lot, because that is a major reason of why we know a lot of these characters, is because of their relation to certain departments, ranks, hierarchies inside the Mages Association. We have also already covered the basic of Magecraft, Magic Circuits, the Magic Crest, etc. Not going to go over that again. Just, hopefully it won't be too deep, or you'll be able to go by feel on any of those notes, and if you need a clarifier, go ahead and check that one out. And instead of those things, we are going to be initially focusing on named families and clans within the Mages Association, and thus some of the established factions and politics in the Clock Tower, etc. This isn't going to be a real deep dive. This is mostly going to name check a lot of characters and what we know about them, and maybe let you know some things which could be important or you may not have heard of yet in core FGO stuff. Basically, a lot of explaining why these characters are important, and also, for some characters, explaining what they do when currently we're not in the middle of a literal fucking time crisis. Now, interesting enough, by the way, I would like to point this out, with the exception of a couple of examples, a lot of characters you might think we would mention, we probably won't. All of the cryptors were part of the Mages Association, but most of them, we don't really deep dive into their family history and their ranks, and some of them aren't even really that famous. A lot of them are just various randos that Marsbury picked up. Kind of like El Meloy. But some of them are important. We'll get there. So, I want to begin by reminding you that in modern times, the Clock Tower has 3 major political factions. They are described as the aristocratic faction, the democratic faction, and the neutral faction. Seems pretty self-explanatory. The aristocratic faction is led by the... Oh, I should also preface this. Guys, I'm gonna have to pronounce a lot of Nasu names. Please be patient with me. Also, the fuck do you know? You think you know better than me? These names are very fake, okay? Anyway, the aristocratic faction is led by the Bartholomew family. It believes in a system of basically mages nobility. Policy decisions should be only handled by mages with proven bloodlines. You have to have a lot of family history and a lot of family pedigree in order to be anybody in the Mages Association, according to them. The Democratic faction is led by the Trembellio family, and believes in a meritocratic model where bloodline is completely disregarded in favor of raw talent. So basically, instead of caring about what your family name is, they care about how cool you are as a mage, because lots of mages with pedigrees are dumbasses who can't do anything, and lots of mages who are from literal Who families are actually, really important in the greater scope of things. Keeping in mind, I would say that we know already that from a practical standpoint, the Democratic faction is correct, because you're going to notice some trends and themes about Nasu's characters. It involves a lot of really, really old families being basically dead and useless, and a lot of randos coming out of nowhere. Also, Shiro Emi exists, and he is a literal fucking Who, but he is a reality marble. There's also the neutral faction, led by the Meluestea family. They do not care about this dichotomy, and they just want to do research and peace. They're those guys who are like, get your politics out of my Mages Association. Yeah, also us, the main character of FGO. Now, admittedly, we're a dog shit mage. We can barely do basic spellcraft, but our master compatibility, super high.
Natsu has gone on the record, just basically said, no, you were literally just an average you who saw a flyer and got whisked away to Antarctica. Literally. That's it. That's all you are.
Yeah. They wanted to go with the ultimate self-insert. By the way, I'm going to tangent early here. This is not in my notes, but you'll probably get my feeling of this later. But I was always writing this. God, I would love a fucking, Persona-style dungeon crawler RPG set in the Clock Tower with all these motherfucking characters.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You could even reuse the protagonist from FGO's design as, your playable character, or go with someone completely different. But, goddamn, there's so much lore here, some of which is elaborated on, and then some of it, this is tip of the iceberg, guys. There's so much, as yet unelaborated lore. So many families and stuff that I just cut from the list because they were literally only in, one arc from Case Files, or were mentioned, briefly as one of the families in APOC. But also, yeah, shout out to the Meluestea family, whose political stance is, I don't have a political stance, fuck off, I want to do magic.
That's my faction.
Yeah. So all of these families all these factions, I should say, themselves contain a variety of families, sub-factions, clans, and all these things are interwoven with the department structure of the Clock Tower. It's not in my notes, but maybe I should name check I won't go through the 12 departments again, but there are various departments of things. We will be name checking them a lot later. Mm-hmm. So, now we are going to list major families in the Mage Association and families adjacent to them, but with a couple of ground rules. So don't get on me if I skip over your favorite family from a entry, okay? Because here's the rules. We're primarily focusing on families we know to exist across multiple timelines, so basically they are established because they exist in multiple places, or they are in the core timeline from which we draw a lot of our Clock Tower lore. So either they are directly referenced in, say, FGO, or more likely referenced in Case Files because that's in the Fate Stay Night continuity, and also the Fate Zero continuity. So, it all lines up together. We'll be leaning heavily on Clock Tower, but there are going to be some Atlas families here occasionally. There are no families known for the Wandering Sea. They mostly do their own thing. If you want to theory craft, there's some stuff there. This also means we won't be diving into clans and families which only exist in, say, Extra or Prisma or anything like that. Subpoint number 1, I'm going to start with the 3 big faction families, and then after that, we're going to go alphabetically. But for the sake of not repeating myself, I will also include branch families under the original family, and yes, in case you didn't know this, much like real-life clans and noble houses, many Mage's lineages have branch families, because there is kind of this whole thing where you can only have one heir to inherit the magic crest, so sometimes Mage families, split and branch. And then sometimes Mage families have really weird relationships with each other. We'll get into it when it comes up. We're also basically going to pass over minor family names with no lore behind them besides, these guys showed up in case files once with this surname and they use this kind of magecraft. This happens a lot. If we did that, we'd be here all day. I'm going to skip over, well, this guy used butterfly magecraft once. This guy spits fireballs. There's a lot of those characters in case files. A lot of whom are just dead because case files is fundamentally a mystery story and they're just like, yes, this case involved the blah 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 family of the such and such magecraft. Cool. Great world building. Not relevant to this discussion. May or may not come up again. We're also going to completely skip the Tosaka, Mato, and Einsburn families because we did that one already. We did a much better deep dive. That is a separate episode. I'm sure you can find it. I'm also going to ignore the greater Yig Millennia issue since that's an APOC-specific thing. In case you guys forgot, in the APOC timeline, because Darnik stole the Holy Grail from Nazis, or with Nazis. Well, with Nazis, then from Nazis. It's complicated, okay? Also, by the way, shout out to Darnik, winning a Grail were Theon of all people, once again. Slays me every time. But basically, because in that timeline he acquired the Greater Grail, he was able to basically form his own breakaway from the Mage Association, his own super clan, the Yig Millennia faction, by bonding together a lot of fading or limited mage families together. We will not be going over all of them, and I will only be I had to cut some of them, but we'll only be name-checking Yig Millennia families, which we know exist outside of APOC and actually do things. If our only mention was, and this guy was a master in APOC, I cut it. Okay, I had to do some cutting. This was literally hours of work. So I take my sip of water. Let us begin with the real shit. So my bottle of water almost fell down. Caught it though.
Oh no.
Cat-like reflexes. So the Bartholomew are the faction family we probably know the most about. They have a long and storied history of the Clock Tower going back to its founding. They are known for their aristocratic bearing and exceptional perfectionism, in addition to having a incredible high-quality blue blood magic circuits, possibly with capital letters, guys. And we know that their sorcery, their thaumaturgical attribute, is almighty. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe Nasu was just playing some SMT that day. Literally don't know, other than that that's how fucking good they are. You will never be this good, scrub. Come at me, I'm ripped, basically. That's our Nasu tier rating here. They are known to be very particular, and they are kind of picky with who they associate with, but they have some history with the user of the first magic, because the user of the first magic, which I believe we don't know what that one does, just that it existed, but we know that the Bartholomew family remembers that guy and considered him worthy of respect, so, that's a big sign, because they don't do that often. They also have a particular hatred for dead apostles, judging from some background information in Tsukihime. So they don't like vampires, they do like the first magic guy. Their current head is Lorelei Bartholomew. Sorry, these fucking names, guys. She is both Lord of the Policies Department, so she's head of policies, and also is a wizard marshal commanding legions of mage warriors for mage things, mostly to kill more vampires. Oh. And it is noted that while she doesn't show any particular areas of expertise, she's not said to, be really good at any particular kind of magecraft. Her all-around skills are so good with magecraft that her abilities border on the true magic. The Bartholomews and Lorelei Bartholomew in particular are said to be so good at basic bitch magecraft that they are like casters out of the Age of Gods. That's how good their magic circuits are, still. And as far as I know, they aren't, secretly in decline or anything. They don't have to eat virgins to do this. They're just really fucking good mages. Now, we know very little about the Trembellio family. Or Bellio. Other than their head of the family is Lord of the Department of General Fundamentals. That's right, both general and individual fundamentals are different departments of the Mage Association. And that he is said to embody a mastery of these fundamentals, in addition to individual fundamentals. He is the zenith of fundamentals, guys. He's really good at the basics. And that he has a lot of spare life energy for magecraft, so in terms of mages, he has a lot of mage stamina. That lord's name is MacDonald Trembelio Elrod, and he has had 6 total wives and has 13 natural and adopted daughters.
Something about excess mage energy, right?
Yeah. His ood is very large. And supposedly is a chill guy. It's what you'd expect from the Democratic faction. He's supposed to be pretty cool. He also, he's kind of a blocky, boxery looking man and has the same fashion sense as Bazette, so just chilling like a villain in suits.
Ooh. Now,
Trembelio is one of the only families out of the big 3 we know has a branch family, and you have probably heard of them if you watch the Case Files anime, because it's the Waynes. They are notable not only for their strong family connection to Trembelio, but also they have a natural talent for repairing and tuning magic crests of others, which has given them a lot of money. The current heir to their family, Melvin Waynes, is exceptionally talented but super frail, so he had to retire from active work in the Mage Association to mostly become Waver's Richfend, who does nothing but spend money and puke blood. Yes, he's that guy. But yeah, the Waynes have a particular ability as tunas for magic circuits, which means they get paid a lot of cash. This is occasionally a thing. Mage succession is a risky business. It's actually a lot of work to be a high-ranking member of a mage family. So there's a lot of people who retire and go on their way. And also, we know even less about the Meloastia family, befitting people who are politically neutral and introspective. I literally don't know any named Meloastia characters as far as I could find. All we know about them is that they are in a slightly unique position of power. Their family holds the Lord position both over the Archaeology Department and, after the death of Kenneth Archibald, the Mineralogy Department. But we don't even have any named characters, so I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. The neutral faction family has taken over 2 whole departments of the clock tower, basically. So that's probably a plot hook waiting. And now, I literally put in my show notes in all caps, break for alphabetical. So we have a beat, and we move on. So, hey, guess who's first alphabetically, guys? We start at the top with Animusphere, a name we all know. You guys probably remember all this stuff from some things Olga Marie told you, but to recap, the Animusphere family not only lead, but helped develop the Clock Tower's astronomy, or sometimes called astromancy, different translations, department. So they are the lords of astronomy and also helped develop that. Their magecraft is related to observing the planet and predicting the future. This is probably why previous head of the family, Marsbury Animusphere, decided to found the Chaldea Security Organization, in case you forgot he did that. Also, the joke about the Waynes living in Gotham. It's spelled differently. It's like a German Weins, because everybody is really fake European. Animusphere, guys, Animusphere. So yeah, the future thing is probably why Marsbury was like, we need to protect the future. Also, their brand of magecraft is good for casting meteor swarm on vampire trees. So Olga Mary should be the head of the family by now in most non-FGO related timelines. And technically she was the last head of the family in the FGO-related timeline, but, Close Encounters of the Singularity kind. Oof. Now, interestingly enough, probably because Olga Marie is killed kind of early in our FGO story, we get a decent amount of background on these guys. So there are 2 prominent branch families for the Animuspheres we know of. The Fellows and Fargo families. They both prominently practice astromancy and are known for predicting the future, observing the stars and planets, etc., etc. We know Fellows from Trisha Fellows, who was Olga Mary's tutor and governess during the Rail Zeppelin case, and unfortunately got murdered because it was a murder mystery. And then the Fargo family were basically completely made up for the anime to give us that one episode where Gray gets to punch a ghostman. But they lean heavily into the main family's themes of, planets, space, stars, cosmos, gods. I went through the whole chant. I don't have it in front of me. And now, our next alphabetical one is another fun one. The Aozaki clan is a topic we are most assuredly going to do as its own episode. But, to discuss in terms of the Mage Association, despite the fact that they've lasted for 6 generations, which is a pretty big deal, a lot of mage families are ranked in how many generations they've lasted. So they've lasted for 6 generations total. They are not very highly placed or well thought of. The Mage Association themselves considers the Aozaki clan trouble, even though they administer one of the largest spiritual lands in Japan. So they have a lot of land with a lot of mana in it that they are in charge of policing. Their particular claim to fame is that the 3rd family had discovered the 5th magic and left it to be inherited by his descendants, which was the 4th and current head, Aozaki Aoko. Yes, by the way, there are 6 generations of this family. The third family had stuck around so long. That's the Aozaki sister's grandfather. That Aozaki Aoko is only the 4th head of the family. Other than that, we don't know if they have any particular sorcery traits or political leanings. The 2 known family members we have aren't even in the same department. Here's a fun one, guys. Toko Aozaki was in the archaeology department. Aoko Aozaki is in the astronomy department. So, I don't know if that means anything, but Aozaki Aoko is in the same department as the Animuspheres. What does it mean? What do the numbers mean, Mason? Continuing down our line, though, we've got another big one. You probably remember this one. The Archibald family. They were an elite family of the Clock Tower. They were apparently close to the Bartholomei family, which is saying something, and were broadly considered to be head of the El Meloi faction, whatever the fuck that means. I think Nasu kind of confused himself with some of his family name ideas. Anyway, the Archibald family were lords of the mineralogy department until Kenneth Archibald died in the 4th Holy Grail War. You know, it was that one. It was that guy. After which there was a bit of a succession crisis. Head of the family passed to the heir of the Archisorte branch family. That's Rena's. And basically, she named Waver as a temporary head of the faction as Lord Elmoiloi II. Waver became the lord of the modern Magecraft department. So there was some shim-sham shifteroo. And remember the modern Magecraft department. We'll come back to that. Now, they seem to possess a variety of skills, but mineral and alchemical affinity seems to be a through line, though it's noted that Kenneth was a very skilled mage. He had multiple talent fields. We're going to take a break from the Mage Association Clock Tower to switch to the Atlas Academy. This is a relatively new family. I'm going to assume it's Crudelis and not Crudeli, because they're not French. They're wherever Atlas is in the Middle East. But they're one of the 6 sources of the Atlas Academy. This is an equivalent rank to the Lords of the Clock Tower. And they're starting to show up in the El Meloi series, the new one. I don't remember. It's not El Meloi's Case Files. It's Adventures of El Meloi, I think?
Yeah, it's Adventures.
Yeah, they're showing up in the new series. They use alchemy like a lot of other Atlas mages, and they specifically manipulate bones and make bone familiars. This is a direct contrast to one of the other major Atlas families we know of. We'll talk about later, Eltnum. In that Eltnum does not use bones, but what they do use, we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so this one's kind of new, so I wasn't sure to include it, but I thought I'd throw it in there because it establishes some of that lore about 6 sources, which I'd never heard before, and shows that, like, obviously we keep advancing in position as we do stuff. And, you know, Atlas is being more outlined. Here's another fun name. The Dioland family. I shit you not. Possibly Dioland. They're an American mage family who's been in the United States since its founding, and they specialize in puppetry. And they have an interesting connection to Holy Grail Wars. One of their members was a master during the 3rd Holy Grail War, and transmitted his knowledge of it back to his family via recording in his puppets. This enabled their family to establish their own Holy Grail War in America on their family's lands. This is the one from Strange Fake. So, the Dioland family, they had a member go to Holy Grail War III. He was the Master of Assassin. He recorded what he saw in his puppets, and apparently that was enough that within the next 100 years his family could reverse engineer the ritual and perform the Strange Fake Holy Grail Wars. So, interesting bit of little bridge building there. Man, the 3rd Holy Grail War sounds so interesting. Where's my fucking prequel, guys? Where's my prequel-ass anime with the Edelfelt sisters with their twinned Saber servant, which is definitely not Dioscuri. Fucking... That's what I say. Definitely not. It probably is. With my, Darnik Yigmalenia with fucking Fion.
Osaka's participate in that too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there'd be a Tosaka and Einsburn and a Mato in there, and the Einsburn summoned Angermanyu, so it's going to be a hilarious time.
Yeah, that seems like, again, the more we think about it, it's like, yeah, this seems very important to our lore.
It is. I'm actually quite surprised we've never just fully adapted it, because I think because of the timeline, right, it's important to a lot of characters' backstory, because it's a lot of breakpoint where people get involved. Anyway, speaking of the Edelfelts, we should bring them up, because they're next alphabetically. They're a major clan in the Democratic faction. That may surprise some of you knowing about Luvia, but, she apparently believes in her merits. And despite being known for their own aristocratic bearing, and they originated sometime during the Renaissance era, other mages sometimes refer to them as a family of hyenas because they are known for a mercenary attitude. They often butt in situations they aren't involved in, possibly for some personal gain. They were originally really strong in rune magecraft, but gradually transferred to jewel magecraft as runes fell out of fashion, and they are known for their unique sorcery trait of sisters, which we just alluded to. They literally get to have 2 heirs to their magic crest simultaneously, taking the form of twins, usually sisters, I believe. Hence why it's called sisters, you know? Sorry, pause there because I dropped something. I like to fish things up off the floor I drop so I don't roll over them with my chair. But,
for some reason, things that fall on the floor just automatically magnetize towards fucking chair wheels. I hate it.
Yeah, it's like you know, cords get knots for no reason, even though they were clearly not knotted when you put them down, and then things either go to the darkest corner or they go to right under your chair wheel. But anyway, so the Edelfelt clan, they got that unique trait of sisters. Their current head is Luvia Galita Edelfelt. Yeah, Luvia is the short version of her name. I would shorten it too if I were her. Though it's noted that she has at least a twin sister, who is not named and never shown yet. That's another one of those things where I'm like, how the fuck have you not done this one? It is noted, by the way, that, yes, Luvia is actually head of the family. Her parent or aunt retired.
I believe that was talked about in case files.
Yes. She is a very young, not a lord, but young head of family. And again, I will specify if a family are traditionally lords of something, because that's a whole different rank. You know, there's only so many of those to go around. But there are some interesting things. This is why, in Case Files, Renes and Olga Marie get along, because in the Case Files timeline, Marsbury is not dead yet, so she is not yet head of the Animusphere family and lord of the astronomy department, and, you know, Renes is waiting on her lordship until, I guess she gets tired of Waver flailing around teaching people. So let's talk about another big one. The Eltnum family is a major family, or was, depending on the timeline, in the Atlas Academy. We know that at FGO that Zepia Eltnum Atalasia is the current head of the Academy in one of these 6 sources. That is Sion's adoptive father, I think, because he's, like, super old. And I think in all timelines, he's still technically a dead apostle. It's just that in Fate, we don't have the dead apostle ancestors, so he's not, you know, freaking out being a fighting game boss. They practice Atlas-style alchemy related to processes such as thought acceleration, memory partition, and possess a unique mystic code technique called Ether Light, which involves enhancing their nervous system with Magecraft, basically creating artificial nerves. This allows them to speed up their reaction time and boost their physical parameters, allows for Spiritron hacking, and the scary ability to copy and download information from other people. Depending on your timeline, this family includes Sion and or her twin sister, Sealim. This seems to be a split in worlds about which sister is alive and whatnot. Also asking the question about the Edelfelts. Yes, we know that there's some relation to the Edelfelt and Tosaka clan, but it's not specified what happened. All we know is that one of the twin sisters, because they both went as masters, one of the sisters stayed behind and was defeated. Possibly one of the last ones defeated. The Saber in the Third Grail War got very far. And then the other sister retreated and vowed never to return to Japan, which is possibly why Luvia has certain thoughts and feelings. But we do know that Tosaka Tokiomi had one of his parents was foreign, so he's only half Japanese. So that's led to a lot of speculation, and by me blatant theory crafting that, Rin and Luvia are probably not so distant cousins. Because also all these sisters are twins, so, you know, if you're genetic twins, that's basically like being the same person. From a bloodline standpoint. I don't have any more further information on the Eltnums. We'll probably talk about them more if we talk about into Sion's personal history, but they're a big deal in Atlas. This is another weird one that I had to break up slightly. So the Gulifis family, God knows how the fuck to pronounce that one. They're an unusually organized family. They are the lords of the spiritual evocation department. So their heirs to the family actually come from the branch family or families, very hard to tell, which is Nuada-Ri or Sophia-Ri. Spelled different ways, by the way. Possibly Nuada-Re, because it ends with an E, and then Sophia-Ri ends with an I. I don't know. And then they're adopted into the main branch family. Their current head is Ruflius Nuada-Ri Gulifus. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I refuse.
He is the father of Soloui and Bram, and was the mentor to Kenneth Archibald, and Soloui was Kenneth's wife. So, like, pretty tied together there. They are said to be members of the aristocratic faction, in case you couldn't tell by the fact that this guy not only thought Kenneth was a cool guy, but wanted him to marry his daughter. Listen, Kenneth, brilliant mage, kind of a douchebag. So, yeah, we've got a little back and forth, and we do see Soloui's brother Bram, the current heir to the family, a couple of times in case files. Rolling around, talking smack, being a weirdo to Waver.
Yes, because of you, my sister died.
No, you should not. You're a lord. You shouldn't supplicate yourself for me to just go on this dumb Holy Grail War thing. I refuse. It is not aristocratic enough. He doesn't actually sound like that, but you know what? You can't say those lines without the voice. We got another fun one, which, by the way, is going to you should start to see some of our ongoing themes Nasu has with these characters that happen over and over again. So the Escardos family is another interesting one. They are said to have a really long family history in the Mediterranean area. Their family goes back to the original days of Zelrich, when Zelrich was originally rolling around, slinging magic. But despite their long history, the Escardos family has a history of very low-quality magic circuits and did not fully understand their magic crest, except for some advanced life preservation capabilities. I don't know why, by the way, if that means that the crest itself had advanced capabilities for life preservation, or what. But they were, actually, I have the line for this. They were apparently considered, and I quote, moldering antiques by the clock tower, until their most recent scion, Flat Escardos, was born.
Ooh, Flat.
Yeah.
Poor boy.
Who possesses exceptional circuits and unique forms of magecraft. According to one Aozaki Toko, Flat is a rare kind of genius who does things that are impossible because he doesn't realize he can't do them.
Literally some of the servant by using fake-ass knives and his own fucking idea.
Yeah, they talk, like, it's a complex, like, backstory theory crafting thing, but just to let you know how crazy Flat's magecraft is he... So, normally, magecraft has a thaumaturgical foundation, right? Like, it's based on principles that you are taught to, and then you replicate, so you do the magic the way you were taught. Flat doesn't give a fuck about that. He makes up new thaumaturgical foundations when he casts his spells. I believe Toko compares this to every time you want to boot up your computer, making a new CPU. And he does it, somehow. It's fucking nuts. So he's a brilliant mage, but he's said to lack the mental aptitude to become a proper head of the family, and so he studies with Lord Elmeloy in the modern magecraft department, which probably fits him very well.
It's a constant headache for Waver, but goddamn it, can't leave that boy alone.
He fits in well. So this begins a long-running theme, which you will see again and have seen a lot. Mage families that are important to the plot usually fall into one of two groups. Either they're really fucking old and super brilliant and special and you will never be that cool, or they're really fucking old and they've wasted all their potential and they suck and they're gonna die, except there's one character who was born in this generation because this is the time period where all the plot stuff happens, and they're cool. It's a very, very much a recurring theme. Hey, speaking of which, the Forveg family is a German mage family which is in decline. They originally specialized in spirit evocation, namely animal spirits. In the APOC timeline, they join the Yig Millennia group, but stand alone in the main timeline. This is Fiore and Kaula's family. It's noted that Fiore Forveg has exceptional magic circuits for one in her family, a once-in-a-generation mage, so it gives her exceptional ability with her Stanley style of magecraft, but it also interferes with her ability to walk. This is why she's in a wheelchair in APOC. No matter what timeline you're in, she ultimately decides to abandon the world of mages and presumably removes her circuits so she can walk again. I believe she has a cameo in the background of case files where she's shown walking. This leaves Kaula's to inherit, but the funny thing is Kaula's is very bad at his family style of magecraft. He's awful at spirit evocation, but in the case files timeline, and possibly in the APOC timeline, through Elmeloy, he discovers he is very good at electricity-based magecraft, so you may be looking at an interesting paradigm shift for the family there. This is another one of those interesting things where mages end up with a couple of extra heirs which do different things. Now, here's another fun one. The Fraga clan is another weird one. I would argue they are probably not part of the Mage Association. We know of them thanks to Bazette Fraga McRemitz. So, their history and heritage dates back to the Age of Gods. And due to their service to deities, they were granted knowledge of the runes and their sorcery trait of God's Holder, a unique kind of pathogen. It's transmitted like a virus. It's not a literal bloodline trait, which allows them to recreate certain divine constructs and noble phantasms. So, in mage terms, pretty cool, kind of unique. However, despite this fact, they should be a very noble and well-respected family, who are possibly quite rich, they choose isolation instead. They are said to live in a small coastal fishing village and just quietly practice their art. And Bazette's family were actually very notably against her joining the association. I would guess they might have some connection to the Wandering Sea, but I don't know if this was all established before they actually, did the Wandering Sea lore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the Age of Gods and the Runes thing seems like they'd fit. So our known member is Bazette Fraga McRemis. She's our only named member we know, though we believe her parents are both still alive, and she serves in the Mage Association as a seal designation enforcer, so basically mage cops. And yeah, she's a huge badass. And her family's magecraft is quite enswolled. So much so that Kotomina could probably only take her out by stabbing her in the back and jobbing her for her command seals. I mean, yeah. Now, here's another fun one. You guys might not recognize this name right away, but you will know this guy's face when I describe him. We actually have a decent bit of background on the Galliasta family. This is the clan of Medea's original summoner, Atrum Galliasta. So you remember that motherfucker. That pretty boy from Unlimited Blade Works. So they're an old family that hails from the Middle East. They specialize in curses and forms of alchemy. Also, to kind of let you know what their character is, they acquired a technique of mystic codes to store and manipulate electricity by buying it. This is called the Primeval Battery. They were not the original possessors of this technique, but they bought it from some scavengers, basically. They are notable for being very politically active and manipulating the mundane world. Like, they actually interfere with human politics to, like, get oil drilling rights and shit to make money. Again, letting you know kind of the kind of person we're dealing with here. And in fact, despite the fact that they only joined the clock tower at Ultram's insistence, so at the time of Holy Grail War 5 is about when they joined the clock tower, they are already leaders in political influence in the mundane world by that point. And basically, Ultram joined the clock tower as a way to gain more profit and political influence before he was killed during the Fifth Holy Grail War because he summoned Medea and was a douchebag. He should have seen it coming. That said, we kind of can understand why he is the way he is, because it is plainly stated that the Galliasta family selects their heir by pitting potential successors against each other, possibly in some sort of battle royale deathmatch situation. So, damn. Usually, guys, the social standard is to just, have maybe one or two heirs and then figure it out, not have a bunch of heirs and then have them sort it out themselves. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. He actually features pretty heavily in some cases in case files. Now, here's another family you're gonna know. The Music family. Pretty well known to us, in case you couldn't tell. They are an alchemist family that once rivaled the Einsburns, but has since been in decline. That's basically how it goes. However, they did manage to basically cajole the Einsburns into sharing some of their knowledge and adapted their ability to make homunculi. The Einsburns are known social recluses, but apparently the Musics just wore on them so much they were like, here, fine, we'll show you some homunculi stuff. And the Musics were like, neat. This is literally described, by the way, this was such low value to the Einsburns that they considered it like giving a toy to a child. Wow. That's the tier of how well they thought of this homunculus shit that they gave the Musics. Even though you have seen these homunculi. They were in APOC a lot. This is the lineage that produced Sieg, of all things. So, despite the quality of their blood diminishing, they are still pretty clearly very well off. As of the current head of the family is Gordolf Music, and he's rich enough to buy up the Chaldea security organization. So, obviously, the family doing pretty well for itself. Additionally, by the way, I think this has been mentioned in FGO, but it's also been mentioned in the case files. Gordolf himself is originally from the policies department. His senpai is actually Miss Adashino. He also joined as a small not a small child, but as a child. Which, by the way, in case if you were wondering how old the director is, I would like to put this in perspective. In case files, he is also a child, when Olga Marie is also a child. And she's like, 18 or 19 when the story starts? She's not that old. So, Gordolf is probably somewhere, and I would bet his mid-20s, in case you were curious. You also probably remember his dad, Goldes, he was in APOC, because they joined the Yigmalenius in that timeline. Gonna flex my bones a little. And now, we're gonna continue. And this is a funny one. It's kind of interesting how this alphabetical thing dovetails often. So, Norwich is an unusual mage family. They are known for being very fortunate with money and engaging in a practice of adopting and funding the scholarships of young mages they find interesting, which is pretty unusual for mages. The Type Moon Wiki cites a source for calling this a Daddy Longlegs thing, which is named after apparently a famous novel, but I'd never heard of it, so they're just sugar daddies, basically. The Norwich family were founding members of the Modern Magecraft Department, which bears their name. They are known for adopting both, one, Dr. Heartless, who was previously the head of Modern Magecraft before El Meloi Tui, and Hishiri Adashino. So, again, funny how that works out. So, yeah, we don't actually know any actual members of this family by blood. We just know that they adopt a lot of people who are important characters in case files. I should probably do some research on why they thought Adashino was cool. Other than that she's got that snake thing going on. I don't know. Here's another fact. Oh, hold on. My Discord is resetting. Okay. So I did that already. Wow, that was a long time before my Discord caught up on that, kicking me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll recap for them because my internet died a little bit there. Obviously, in the edit, you guys won't know already in the audio. But I was just talking about how, rambling about how it's, if you've ever wondered how old Gordolf is, he's apparently a kid in case files in the Mage Association already. But he also becomes the director of Chaldea, and in case files, Olga Marie is already a kid as well. Like, she's, like 10 in case files?
Interesting.
And then, she can't be much older than, 18 or 19 by the time we get to FGO. So, I said earlier, I put my money on Gordolf probably being somewhere in his early to mid-20s, it seems like. And also, I mentioned that he worked with Miss Adashino as his senpai, which she apparently found very amusing. I quote from citations of case files. Sorry, I'm just occasionally double-checking my internet to do things to make sure I'm not losing connection again. Oh, am I losing connection again? My internet's fine, but my Discord ping is crazy. There we go.
Oh, no.
Discord really blowing up there for a second. Yeah, my internet's fine, but now Discord's being weird. Maybe I should reset it really quick since I got kicked out and back in. Hold on.
Righto.
Unpause again and resume.
That's all.
So I'm going to repeat myself once because the live chat and Lucky didn't hear me. I talked about the Norwich family very briefly. They're an unusual mage family. They're known for being fortunate with money and have a practice of adopting and funding scholarships of young mages they find interesting. Pretty weird for mages. They were founding members of the modern Magecraft department, which bears their name, and they are the family that adopted both Dr. Heartless and Hishiri Adashino. No idea why they decided to pick those guys. Also, I don't know what Dr. Heartless was called before Dr. Heartless. He was the previous head of Modern Magecraft before LMLA II, though, so that's a thing. Oops, sorry,
They probably dig the FGO MC. It's like, who is this child? A shitty mage, but amazing SRNs? Give that boy some money. What do you mean he's already rich?
So, here's another fun one. The Shishigo family are actually fairly well known. Despite being from the Far East, they are masters of necromancy. They are a mage family that has lasted 7 generations.
Oh.
So, pretty good history. They are unfortunately likely to die out soon, though, because one of their members made a bargain with an entity in the past of unknown origin, which reduced their overall fertility. So, Kairi Shishigo is likely the last head. He apparently cannot have kids, and his one attempt to adopt an heir did not work. Very sad.
Very sad.
But the family is fairly well known for working in the spiritual evocation department. Duh. But also, you wouldn't know it, but apparently, Kairi Shishigo's father was a huge nerd. He was a researcher who, wrote famous research papers on necromancy and stuff. And then his son turned into a fucking badass biker mercenary.
I mean, he's the end of the line. He probably feels like there's no real more point to keep going on. Honestly.
He's just having fun, solving his reverse daddy issues, helping Mordred solve her regular daddy issues. It's great. Flying jet planes. So we have another big family coming up, the Valualetta family. Yeah, I'm still doing the names. They're one of the 3 great families of the Clock Tower, whatever the fuck that means, because they're not one of the faction head families. But they are strong supporters of the Democratic faction. Their current head is Inorai Valualetta Atraholm. You may remember her as the cool old lady from Case Files. She is the lord of the Creation Department and a master of sympathetic magic. She was also the teacher of the terrible trio that was Toko Aozaki, Cornelius Alba, and Sora Naraya. Which I think says everything you need to know about her teaching method, considering that all of them are probably bad people. Listen, Toko's cool, but
I mean,
she's not a nice lady.
Toko's a villain, but that was only at the beginning. Now she's just like, okay, fine, my sister kicked my ass.
She mellowed out after she realized why her sister became head of the family. It's because she has the fucking 5th magic, and Toko's like, well, you can't beat that. I'm gonna become an immortal puppet master. Bye. I'm gonna go find this chick with the mystic eyes of death perception and
we're gonna go
do my bitch work in my detective agency for money. Even though she's from a weird Yakuza family, it doesn't need money. Anyway, it's also noted that Lord Valualetta is very forward-thinking for a mage and has embraced modern technology. She apparently is a fan of the laptop and the iPod. Yeah, so even though she's like a cool old lady, she likes modern tech. That's a fun little detail. Makes sense that they back the Democratic faction. The Valualetta have a major branch family, the Iselma. These guys are in one of the major arcs of Case Files we haven't seen yet. they're interesting because their path to the root lies in trying to create the most beautiful person. They will create such beauty as to reach the point of blank, i.e. the blank character used for Void Shiki's name, or 4 blank letters, which may also correspond to void. So they are trying to reach the void by being so pretty. And they have reached an apex of this art, which is so high, they have achieved such natural beauty that they can conjure up on a whim, that it borders on the true magic.
So it's not bullshit then.
Yeah, no. This, by the way, this was apparently stated in that Case Files arc by Renez, so I assume she, not Josh. If their family magecraft was shit, she would say so.
Yeah, she would.
The Aselma are notable, though, that despite this level of mastery of their particular sorcery trait, they are still reliant on the main family for support. I guess being pretty doesn't get you everything. They do also appear to have some flaws in their process. They have 2 heirs right now who are referred to as the Gold and Silver Princesses. While they are both, like, staggeringly physically beautiful, one of them is blind and the other is deaf, so there's apparently some cost-cutting measures when you're min-maxing like that. Now, here's another fun one. Waver's Velvet family actually has a little bit of history. He didn't spring from nowhere. They're actually on their 3rd generation as a family. So, Waver's grandmother was a mage's mistress and started practicing magecraft on things she learned during their relationship, passing it down to her daughter and then onto Waver, who decided to make it a serious pursuit. Now that he's Lord Elmeloy II, I don't know if we have any idea if his family name and line will continue, but it's interesting to see that, like, you know, nobody comes from nowhere kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we also know a little of the details on the Wodaime family, from which Kishtaria Wodaime hails. They are an exceptionally old and prominent mage clan. Their magic crest goes back over 1,000 years, uninterrupted and undamaged. Wow. So they are a very prestigious, very pure mage family. They practice a form of astrology magic which dates back to the Age of Gods, and Kishtaria was said to be so talented with astromancy that the Clock Tower wanted him to inherit the lordship of the astromancy department over Olgameri, because he was a student of Marsbury, and they thought he was so good at astromancy, they were like, now this guy is clearly the next department head. What, the current department head has a daughter? Who cares? There's a lot of reasons why Olgameri is the way she is. And that brings us to the end of our list alphabetically. For time, I cut out a lot of the one-off mentions from most of the Masters of APOC who don't show up other places, both in the Ignolennia side and the Red Faction side. Because all of the Red Faction Masters that Semiramis just, put the mind whammy on had basic backstories and character designs and stuff, and they don't matter. Other than that, they were all supposed to be super cool and elite, and they all basically jobbed to Semiramis. Good job, guys.
That's sweet poison.
Most of their family names have glorified cameos in case files as well as other members, lots of callbacks. There are also handfuls of non-associate mages and clans from Japan and the like I don't break down what the Emiya family are doing because they're basically, on the run. There are a couple of standalone Japanese families and other families who aren't directly related. And there are a lot of, like I said, one-off families who are like, this family practices this magecraft. They showed up in this case in case files and nowhere else. I'm like, okay, cool, that's not a deep lore cut. So if you want a deep dive, go to the Type Moon Wiki, literally go to the page called Magus, scroll down until you find families. You will find many, many more families and characters mentioned I didn't even get into, let alone characters who apparently don't have any family history. One of Elmeloy's students, Svin, Wolfboy. Now, he doesn't have any stated family history. He's just a guy, apparently. We know obviously Gray has a greater family and clan, but if they're involved in the Mage Association, no history of that. So there's a lot of gaps out there. You will also note that in the departments of the Clock Tower here we named out, there are also some gaps of the lordships. So there are names of many leading families in those areas, but they haven't actually appeared on screen properly as far as we know. For instance, we know that the name of the family that is the lord of the zoology department is Gaius Link, spelled exactly like you think it is. And the only thing we know about them is that they're said to be puppets of the Bartholomew family. That's it. That's all we know, is that they're scrubs, so they're basically run by another family. The Archibald family are said to be lords of the botany department, but the only known member we've seen was a character in Mahoyo, and she was a practitioner of what she called modern black magic, basically Western witchcraft, with some interesting things out there. And we don't even know the family names, let alone the individual names for the lords of the individual fundamentals, lore, or curses departments. So there's 3 whole departments worth of lore there. if you were a fanfiction writing type and you wanted a jump-off point, those are the gaping holes in the backstory you could fill, if that's your thing. And honestly, we're wrapping up here, but this is very high level still. Like, most of these families just got like one paragraph, if even that much. And these notes are still 5 goddamn pages long.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to start wiki walking, go free, you know. You can dive deep. There's a lot more to go here. And once again, let us continue praying for the localization of the Case Files light novels and Mahoyo. Localize. Please, come on. The light novels especially. That can't be that fucking hard. They're all printed already. They're all text. Just dish them out.
Yep.
People are writing new books in English. You can publish translated books in English. Please, help me out here. Because, like I said, so much of this branch of the lore comes from just people being in the Case Files meta plot.
Like I said, Adventures is going on, so they might be dropping more lore in there eventually.
Yes. That is the thing as well. Like, I even mentioned a couple of families that are pretty new
Adventures.
from Adventures. So, that's obviously, there are evolving fronts there to talk about as well. So, you know, it's an evolving thing. But there's a lot of the major families, and like I said, I cut a lot of people just for time and consistency. But you may or may not need to know their names. You don't really need to know anything about Whip Girl from Apoc's family, other than they apparently practice bad magic, so she was just designated to be the fucking bad guy the whole time. Hey, guess what? Roach, Avike Bronze Master, he's from a family who are really known for building golems. They're so known for building golems that they leave their children in the care of golems so the parents don't have to leave their fucking workshop. No wonder he was such a nerd. And then he died.
Listen, Avike Braun at least feels real bad about that, okay?
He does. He felt bad. But yeah, so that ends our little Teach Me trip. Let's see. We are at over 3 hours, raw audio.
Good job.
I have already had one internet drop, and it is raining outside right now. I'm wondering. I usually like to keep all my, patron topics all out there, but we do have a decently sized show. I could push Fanservant Friday, just for the sake of, like, getting started on sticking this all together and wrapping up. We've had a couple of tech diffs in the episode already, mostly on my end, so.
Personally, I think we should hang on, because I'm not entirely sure what we're going to have going on next week.
That's also true. We may not have an episode next week, so.
We could have a lot, or we could not.
Yeah, if JP doesn't announce something outright, like if they just cruise, because, let's see, when do we actually record the next show? Let's double check the dates. So that'll be the 5th of November. Halloween will have just ended. Technically, the main story completion will still be ongoing. Yeah, JP might not have any new news. We should have new announcements for NA, but that will very likely just be a 1 million downloads campaign, or some hunting quests. Also, no, okay, it's not fully picking up on my microphone. But while I'm speaking, you guys may or may not be able to hear the rain outside, because it's pouring a little bit. That's good. It's cool. I've mentioned this before. Florida's finally realized what fall is. It's apparently 62 degrees outside. Thank God, because today in the daytime it's still like 80 degrees when the sun is up. But yeah, that was a pretty big deep dive. I kind of enjoyed doing that, but also kind of didn't, because it was just so much like, part of it's just how the wiki decides to record characters who are important, but some of it's just like, you guys, in case you couldn't tell, Nasu has a real world building bug. Like he is definitely the type of writer who's like, all right, let's make up some organizations for the clock tower. Let's give them departments like a college. It'll be this department, that department. It's called this thing. It's about that stuff. And then Sunda, the writer for Case Files, I think really ran with like what he could do, because there was a lot of gaps in the story. So the Fate universe just builds itself to just building more and more characters. But like I said, there's also so many gaps in this. Apparently, like for instance, Yvette, the girl with the jewel eye in Waver's class, we know that her family they're in the mineralogy department, and they do some stuff with mystic eyes, but we don't know anything else about their family history. It's really weird. I will say, though, that it's very interesting to see how things stack up. The archaeology department, for instance, is very famous for clocking up a lot of characters we know. That's where Toko, Cornelius, and Soyanaraya were originally based before they all split. I mentioned earlier, apparently Aozaki Aoko is in the astronomy department. That's kind of a weird coincidence. But also, both because they do jewel magecraft, both Rin and Luvia are strongly associated with the mineralogy department, which used to be run by the Archibalds. There's a lot of these weird little coincidences if you go deep on the lore. And also there are departments we know nothing about, one of which is, by the way, lore. Capital L Lore is a department of the Mage Association. We don't know much about them, other than that's the department that apparently David Sem Void worked in. Isn't that great? I'm sure that'll be fun later.
Clearly, it's just run by a giant mushroom.
Yeah, there's so much weird stuff in there. I thought about, for instance, talking about Ophelia's family, Farmer Sloan, but again, we don't know about them. All we know is that apparently Ophelia's parents were like super strict in wanting her to like perfect their mystic eye craft because that's their mage craft, and that she was in spiritual evocation, which is why she is a brilliant summoner. But that's really all we know. Like, mostly we know about her family by reference of what we know about her. And most of the other members of the Cryptor squad of Team A, like, don't even have history. Akuta was literally not a mage. Pepe is a mage, but is apparently originally from the east and was a mercenary. And Kadok is by his own admission kind of third rate. He's kind of a nobody as far as the Mage Association is concerned. So it's kind of funny how all that stuff shakes out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that, since we had a decently chunky episode, we did spend an hour and a half doing mailbag, even though it was 19 questions. We got talking about Spider-Man. It's our fault. But we can probably wrap this up here and leave Fanservant Friday for next time. I will remind you, though, if you want to do a little pre-reading, Fanservant Friday is still Helen Vaughn, Foreigner, from the Great God Pan. That was our spooky choice. I don't know entirely what our November theme is. I've been saying this for the past couple of months, but I really do need to sit down sometime and bang out some more profiles for some more interesting ideas. But because I don't have any specific themes for November, I think I'm going to do Best of the Worst. I'm going to go back through, because we've been doing this for about a year, I'm going to go back through about a year's worth of polls and see what people have done the worst. And I'm going to force the audience to pick from one of them. You cannot taunt me forever, patrons. I'll get you one of these days. So I think we'll just see how that goes. And then December will probably be my wintry theme again, because I have several more servants on that list who can go in there, among other things. And yeah, Teach Me will probably be a split between, what's Sion's alleged backstory and how does that tie into Melty Blood, and then the Aozaki sisters. Because as Lucky pointed out, and even as I observed in this little bit, just on a familial level, they're kind of a big deal in a lot of places. And goddamn do they show up a lot.
Honestly, also, Mahoyo is literally the beginning of everything. Literally.
Yeah, that was the story concept we know Nasu had first.
Yeah.
Even though I believe it took him a little bit to actually publish it.
Well, no, he never actually did publish it. He couldn't make it small enough to actually get it to a publisher.
Yeah. And then, so he did Kara no Kyokai as a short novel series first, technically separate from Type Moon, and then his old buddy Takeuchi was like, yo dog, what if we did visual novels? And that eventually became Tsukihime, Fate Stay Night, the visual novel version of Mahoyo, etc., etc.
Yep.
Many other titles, only some of which we have access to over here. There were some name-dropped mage families in Requiem as well that I didn't talk about because they only appeared in Requiem, but that's a light novel series. It's coming out. Come on. Other people publish light novels. Help me out here. That's basically all this topic boils down to is, Dear Type Moon, call your friends in Aniplex, call Papa Sony, print some fucking books in English, please. Help me out. I'll buy them. You know I will. I got space on my bookshelf. They'll scooch right in. If you want to hear more about my bookshelf, tune into What's Up. So I think we're going to wind down the show. I've given you previews for what's going on next month's Patreon polls. We will push Fanservant Friday as we do. I kind of figured we would, because goddamn was this dense.
Yeah.
Also, I was expecting we'd have a little more to say about Saber Wars II, but I think our thoughts were kind of clean, easy to get out there. Because the event's not really that complex. It's just kind of, fun and good. If you're waiting for that, 5-hour episode, wait for, probably whatever holiday special ties into Lost Belt 5. That may also be our New Year's episode, which we will probably do live as we do. So that's going to be great.
Big.
Yeah, that'll be some nonsense. But we'll get out of your hair. Who am I kidding? You guys love long episodes. If this wasn't long enough for you, just listen to it again. Maybe you'll catch something new. But be sure to tune into What's Up, which should be live later today as this episode goes public on YouTube. If you're a patron listening early, it'll be live the next day. If you are watching this at some later date in the future, other than the week of October the 29th, 2021, that happens, know that What's Up already came out already, so you can watch that too. Time, space, what is it? And we would like to heavily encourage you to watch all of our other content, watch What's Up, watch the APs if you're interested. I know it's very daunting, there's 80 of them, but if you do want longer stuff, more out of us, check that out. Me and Lucky are in it. We've got some other people from the community in it. I'm the GM. Lucky is one of the player characters. They do Star Wars stuff and the Clone Wars. They punch droids.
Punch.
So many droids punch. Though actually, Loth did make sure to call me out. It's been a long time since he punched a droid. And I'm like, Well, we'll fix that soon. Don't you worry.
Oh, no.
Okay, day. I think with that everything out of the way, we will go ahead and do the outro. Lucky, you got any other final thoughts for the people?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, cool. I'm going to do the outro, and then I'm going to edit this. And then while this episode is cooking, I'm going to play more Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
So, it's time for the outro. There's a little something like this. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a like on YouTube. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments section down below. What Mage family do you think is the coolest? Let us know. You can also join our Discord. The link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. Great way to get in contact with us and talk to lots of people about stuff. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Get those sub numbers up. I have some ideas as we get closer to maybe some sub milestones. So keep pushing those numbers. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Sub to Studio Omega. And even if you're already subscribed, make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we go live. It's very important. It literally only helps you. I don't think there's anything like YouTube isn't like sucking your vital essence out if you ring the bell. It's just a cool tip that you should consider so you can get there when we post new videos. Because, I still do all that manually. I don't, pay somebody to wake up at 8 a.m. and post my new videos. So, it's all me. All manual. And, of course, you can support us further by joining our memberships on YouTube. Get access to membership badges and emotes. It's pretty cool. You can also throw us a super thanks. You can just, drop us a little tip in the comments if you like. Leave us a super chat on our live streams. But, of course, like we also said at the front of the show, you can consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month, or roughly $10 a year. At higher levels, you can vote in topic polls. You can help decide who is our next Teach Me topic, or who is our new Fanservant Friday. The margins on these polls are usually pretty narrow, so, every little vote counts if you're thinking it's not worth the money. It actually matters. You also get access to videos early. At higher levels, you can listen to the show get recorded live via our Discord all the time. And at higher levels, even get on our shoutouts, and it's a really great way to support us. So with that all out of the way, we already did our, every droplet a river speech earlier.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We will see you guys soon for more What's Up, and see you guys next week for more Let's Talk FGO, where we will talk about something. And if we can't talk about something, we'll talk about nothing. We're like Seinfeld.
Listen, we're good at the fact.
Ba-doom, doom, doom, ba-doom, doom, doom, boo, doom.